the morning steam, it's time to break one for cover. That's gonna cover, that's gonna cash. Then we make the 100-yard dash to the window. I don't know what you thought. It's Ramon Scott, running so hot. Sports make money and we make money with sports money every single day. NFL, NHL, NCAA. Stay away from the juice or might play a parlay. It's the morning steam. What? Ramon Scott, sports money. What? Wake your ass up and let's get to the money. Get to the money. You know how we do it.
All right, and a pleasant good morning to you from the sports betting capital of the world, Las Vegas. This is Ramon Scott, and welcome to the Morning Steam Show for Thursday, March 27th. Happy baseball season. It's time. We're ready. We don't know where we're headed with today's card here, with this massive card. We're going to try to do it as quickly as we can, and we'll get underway in just a moment with our preview for Major League Baseball, NBA, NHL, oh yes, and the Sweet 16. That's our featured coverage, of course, as we get down and dirty with college basketball tonight. 4 huge games. Get your pens, pencils, and rotation orders ready. I don't know if we'll have time for any previews of the games. It might just be a few hours straight of picks from me here. I've been up most of the night trying to make sure we we this card ready. We got Major League Baseball to talk about. We won't dive too much into trends or
final.
We know where we're headed here with the season and the teams and everything. So thank you for joining me here. Those of you who are in the chat, let me say hello. We're getting just started here right now and get everybody folded in here for today's huge show. Man, it's going to be incredible sports action today. Wish it would start a little bit earlier. Major League Baseball wanted to get cute with their early start this season. Why not get those games underway in the daytime here on the East Coast? But we'll have previews for all 4. I guess 2 teams took the day off already, with Colorado here. And thank you for joining me, everybody. Let's say hello to a few folks in the chat and get this show ready to go here today. Blue is here. Hello, da-do-dee-da-do-die. Joe W. as well. O-Caps, ready to go. Hey, everyone. Good morning. If you like this video, subscribe to our channel, Sports Money, here on YouTube, fastest growing sports betting channel on YouTube. Nick Handy is here, ready to roll today. Hope you guys are ready to go in Major League Baseball. Get your Nerfies, your Yerfies ready for me. Let me know what you like today in America's pastime. You can get more plays from me today over at winnable.com/Ramon. I'll have picks for days here today for sure. With Major League Baseball underway, you need more selections. I've got them for you. Hopefully, I'm going to give you a pick a game here and lots of winners here in Major League Baseball. But we're going to have plenty of picks over at winnable.com/Ramon. I'll have more plays, my best plays actually there at winnable.com. Use the promo code STEAM to save 20% off all premium pick packages. Pretty good fun day yesterday of sports action there. It was a little bit of a brief card, but we were able to pull down a few winners here. We'll talk about them with the results from yesterday. We're going fast here, obviously, today. Get the show started and get the picks started here. That's what we're going to do with today's card. So if you want to get those plays, go over to winnable.com/Ramon, and I'll have them for you over there already, actually, with our some of our action here. Let me bring myself back up here, and there we go. Play is underway at the Houston Open right now. Less than stellar conditions to get the golf started here this morning, but they have teed off with a great group here. We got McIlroy with Wyndham Clark, and also we get the leaderboard going here. They've just really teed off in the last hour or so here to get rolling with the coverage today. But let me take a look at this leaderboard here real quick. There's a couple guys that may have a birdie here so far. Uh, Andrew Novak is 2 under. He's through a couple of holes here. Trey Mullenix is 1 under, and a bunch of people just getting underway. Rory here, I'm seeing him on the first hole. Mav McNeely's in that group as well. So play underway. Something to keep you watching here as we get started with the show. And you can go to winnable.com to get my golf selections today over there. And check out. There's still time to get down on some futures at pretty reasonable prices today over at winnable.com. You see right there a couple of my top picks, and I got more than that over there at winnable.com. You can subscribe for free to get free plays from me, and I also have my subscription package over there. It is just 56 cents a day when you use the promo code STEAM at checkout. Save 20% and supports me here on the channel. We're user supported, viewer supported, I guess was what you would say. And that's how you support me here on the channel, coming back and giving you a preview of, I don't know, how many games are there? 50? How long are we going to be here? 3 hours? We better get started with the show if we're going to be getting all these, I don't know, plays in. I don't know if we can preview these games. There's so many games. Of course, we'll preview these college basketball games a little bit for sure. Hello to Bobby Mack is here. Philly Eagle Flyers fired up and ready to go. And let's see here. Thank you, Philly Eagle Flyers. Ready to go with some plays here. Looks like got a Nerfy for Blue. Good morning to Wine Time. He's ready to go today for a huge day. It's going to be a great day. Joe T. Hey, everyone, check out the polls over at
System Play
Sports Money YouTube channel. Joe has his polls up and ready to go. We've seen some voting already from some of you, and you can see what our community likes in today's games when you go over to the posts tab here on YouTube. And also check out Jeff's golf plays. Jeff has his golf selections up there right now. You can still get down. I mean, these odds haven't changed yet. We're just underway right now at that Houston Open. So, all right. Also had some overnight action as well over at winnable.com. Hope you guys were down with me a little bit. I think I swept the board here overnight. I was just checking the results here. I've been so busy with these games, I hardly had time to watch KBO, but I know that, let's see here, I got 2 plays coming in China basketball here. It looks like we're going to have some winners here right now. We got Shenzhen winning here by 20. Oh, okay, looking good here. Shenzhen by 20. We said take Shenzhen. They were getting 2 points, I think. I think they were getting more than that by the time the game went off. And also, looks like we're going to have a winner here with Tianjin over Shangshu. It's easy for you to say. I just like to pretty much call them the Dragons and the Lions and the Pioneers and the Dragons and all that. So with Pioneers here, they were getting 9 points and they're up by 6 with a minute to go in the third quarter. So there's still some work to do there. And we also had a winner overnight in the KBO with Lotte Giants and SSG Landers under 10.5. And hopefully, if you guys are catching me on the afternoon show of the Tony's Picks YouTube channel, I threw out a play last night in Aussie Rules Football, and that was an easy winner. As I said, go under. I said go under in the game between Port Adelaide and Essendon. I think it was 180.5 when I called it out on the show yesterday over at Tony'sPicks.com, and the final score was 72-60. So talk about an under. We hit that one with ease there. Good morning to NYC Bar, ready to go. Jermaine is ready to go. Teresa, hello, ready to go on opening day here. So is James Farm, ready to go. And who'd have thought Thursday is the best betting day of the week today. And in addition here, get it started. Let's get ready to get it started here. We'll let you know where the steam is and has and been here. We just had one though go off here as I was coming on the air with, oh man, Memphis and OKC steam to the over here in this one. It was 238.5. We're seeing some steam here to the over in that one between Memphis and OKC, up to 239.5 or higher here right now in that one between Memphis and OKC. Also steam a little bit earlier, just as I was preparing to get on the air here with the under in the game between San Antonio and Cleveland today, and it was around 239.5, and they're down to 238.5 here in that one between San Antonio and Cleveland today, as some steam came in on the under. Hey, we had a winner last night in the consensus parlay. Let's go over the results. Consensus parlay was a winner here yesterday. We did have a winner here on the show with the Clippers and the Knicks game to go over, but you guys had it with the Clippers on that consensus. How about the Clippers right now? Clippers can be found 50 or 60 to 1 to win the NBA championship. Now, look, we know that Boston, we know that Cleveland, we know the Thunder, of course. We know these teams are the elite teams right now. But, man, look at these Clippers right now and the damage they're doing. You got Kawhi Leonard playing at a very elite level. He's been in the lineup. He's played several games in a row, many games in a row now, and basically the same stat line every night. I mean, basically 27, 11, and 7 every night, it seems like right now for Kawhi Leonard, as he's been on fire here. And so the Clippers, as they win over the Knicks last night, Team Steam Consensus have that one. Team Steam Consensus also with the winner with the Toronto Raptors over Brooklyn last night. I had them, you had them, we all had them there yesterday. Toronto over Brooklyn. Also, I had a winner on the show with those Denver Nuggets. Now, granted, when we went on the show, and hats off to you guys making the call there on that one with Nikola Jokic there in the game, and the line, of course, shot up big time there. So we'll see if you guys had to. Oops, made a little boo-boo here. So yesterday with that game, certainly a little bit of point spread movement, to say the least, in that game because of the addition in the lineup. And it may have been, if you waited too long, you didn't get the cover with the Denver Nuggets. But again, the line was 6 when we gave it out here yesterday. It did go off at 11.5, and they won by 10. But we'll take credit for the win there, thanks to you guys saying, hey, it looks like Jokic could be in the lineup. And it was a great call there, and he was, and they ended up favored by double digits. Also last night we gave out the Boston Celtics as well here on the show over the Phoenix Suns. Yeah, Phoenix was not ready for games like this, right? It's not their cup of tea there yesterday. They were pretty popular with handicappers yesterday, but I wasn't buying it. And also, I mean, obviously Boston did it a little bit short-handed there yesterday. So we had the winner here on the show with the Boston Celtics. How about in college action yesterday? We had that winner here on the show with the total over in the CBI championship game between Illinois State and Cleveland State. So that one went over. Illinois State, of course, won the CBI tournament. And we had some winners here. You guys did yesterday, right, with Loyola Chicago. Team Steam consensus winner over Kent. The Zips are out. Loyola Chicago advances to the semifinals of the NIT, and also in the other game it was UAB with the cover against UCI, probably for most bettors there. It ended up 81-77. Did land right on the number there yesterday. Some may have gotten the win, some may have gotten a push, some may have gotten a loss there with the UAB, but UCI got the win, and they advanced to the semifinals of the NIT NHL action. Last night, we had the New Jersey Devils here on the show. as a winner on the puck line over the Chicago Blackhawks, and we did give out Dallas as well over Edmonton yesterday. Totals, though, were a total flop for me. Um, pretty much yesterday's every game went over. If that's going to happen, I'm probably going to have some losers in there. So, but maybe it's getting that time of the year where we're going to see more goals, less defense in the NHL. We'll see. There's a huge card today. We're going to have to preview them all, or at least make a pick. You guys, it's going to be really difficult. Hope you enjoy my analysis on the days when we have time. Today, it might be just about the picks. The way this is looking, right? All right, you guys got to be ready. I got to be ready. We got to go. We got to get going here. Elijah Epperson, nice to see you. How you been here? Timmy Two Shoes got some props here. He says Trout and Soto, well, not to Homer, or I don't know. Is that a prop there? Okay, thank you, NYC Bar. Philly Eagle Flyer there had a little something. That hockey parlay gave out for us. Great job there, Philly Eagle Flyer. Teresa's here. I think those are some plays as well. And Terrell here. Oh, let's not bury the lead, right? With the Lakers win last night. I mean, come on. That was a really good game, too. And from, big lead there yesterday, obviously, in that one. And then the comeback and then the tip in. So wild game there. Lakers get the win on that tip in by LeBron James yesterday. So let's get started, shall we? We have got to go in the college basketball Final Four here. Here we go. Wow. I don't know what's going to happen here over the next couple of hours, but oh man, adjust the chair here a little bit, man. We got to settle in for sure here. All right. Wow. BYU and Alabama going to start us off in the Sweet 16 tonight with a massive 176 total. How about it? And Alabama favored by 5.5. And this one, maybe five and a half here with these two coming in. For BYU, they've covered the spread in 10 of their last 12 games coming into this one. They've proven to be Sweet 16 worthy here a little bit. It feels like, having won 11 of their last 12 games overall. BYU has gone over in 5 of their last 6 games. Alabama 6-3 against the spread in their last 9 games. Alabama's gone over in 8 of their last 12 games. They've won 4 of 5 coming in as well here. Alabama just 1-5 against the spread their last 12 games against the Big 12 Conference. BYU 0-6 against the spread in their last 6 games against SEC competition. So let's see what you guys want to do here to get us started in the NCAA tournament. And I'll have my play, but I want to hear from you in this one. Go to the chat already. This is going to be a lot of fun. I don't know. We're going to have a 20-team parlay today. Or will we have a little bit of mix with the plays from the chat? All right. Terrell, he's going to be ready to go tonight. Lakers got to come right back and play Chicago here in that revenge game. Blue says, give me the Alabama team total over in this one. And let's see here. Thomas likes Alabama to win the game tonight. All right, let's see here. And what's Paul saying here? Seems like everyone's going to go with the favorites here in the NCAA tournament. Teresa says, I got to think this one's like 94-90 today to go well over in this one. I think that's what she's saying there. Jim Casey, ready to go to that Bulls game tonight? As NYC Bar says, Alabama money line and the under. Timmy Two Shoes got some plays here. Let's see what Terrell is saying here right now, BYU is overvalued. Alabama is undervalued. Alabama rolls this one by double digits, says Terrell. All right. I'll give you guys another second or two, although be ready, everyone, because of today's card. We're going to go these games. Will give you a second or two to chime in a little bit. I'm on the over here in this one. Come on. How can this one not go over with BYU? Give them a lot of credit, but if you look at all the teams in the tournament left, they are the worst defensive team as far as efficiency is concerned, kind of by far. Right. If you look at some of the metrics sites, they're really just, top, 25% or so, I would say, defensive efficiency for BYU. So we'll see what you guys like tonight. That could be it for this one. I don't see anything else coming in. I'm going with the over as my play here on the show in this one. All right. I'm moving on. Thanks everybody in the chat for your plays and your comments. Next up, Maryland here. Yeah, Maryland here taking on Florida, the number 1 seed in their region. For Florida here, they are a 7-point favorite. And the total here currently at it's 6 here. Let's call it 6.5. We'll call it 6.5. There is some 6s now at some of the sharp books here. Actually, is Maryland maybe taking a little bit of movement here? That 7 was probably just a typo by me here. 6.5, a lot of 6.5s and 7s is what I'm seeing right now, and the total 157 here with Maryland and Florida. And we'll see what you guys want to do here. You got Maryland. They've covered 8 of their last 12 games overall coming into this one. They've haven't won 6 of their last 7 coming in. Of course, they barely hold on. They barely won, of course, over Colorado State with that last second shot. They did blow out Grand Canyon. Florida's been a terrific cover of late, man. They're super hot right now. They've won 8 in a row, covered 12 of their last 13 and 9 of their last 10 overall. They're 23-6 against the spread as a favorite, but Maryland 4-2 against the spread as an underdog. Maryland's gone 1-4 straight up in their last 5 games against SEC competition. Florida's gone over in 11 of their last 15 against Big Ten opponents. Florida's also gone over in 8 of their last 9 games overall coming into this one. Let's go to the chat, see what you have here between Maryland and Florida today. Florida's won 15 straight non-conference games coming in. Maryland 4-2 against the spread as an underdog. Go to the chat here in this one. I wish we had more time to talk about these college games today a little bit, but got so many sports to look at. Hey, Shenzhen comes home with our winner over Jiangsu Dragons there in CBA action. All right, here we go. Oh, NYC Bar had BYU back in that game. Thank you. Here's blue as Miami team total over. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, Florida team total over. We know what you meant. We know what I meant, right? And let's see, NYC Bar talking about that other game here. Here's Thomas. He likes the Florida money line here. Teresa says take Maryland plus the points.
System playing.
And let's see here. Jerry talking a little KBO in the chat there. Robert likes the over in this one. NYC Bar likes Florida to cover. Terrell says go over. Maryland scores 75. He's got a 90-75 final here. So he's got another blowout. Oh, gosh, I hope we don't get blowouts tonight. Jim's on the Gators here. Jimmy says, man, it's hard to go over in some of these tournament games, though. Especially, Maryland, maybe surprisingly, I don't know, they're pretty efficient in the defensive categories here. They are at sixth in the KP defensive efficiency rankings, so don't sleep on the Maryland defense here. It feels like we know, man, Florida's been something special this season. That's why they are where they are. And look, I said I'm chalky here on a lot of these, but in this one, I'm going to go with the under with Fernando here. Fernando went with the under as well. And Jermaine likes the Maryland money line. And look, there's a couple I just want to get real quick here. Let me see if I can bring this up here. I'm alive in a pool over there across the street. And I'm going to show you my picks here a little bit. I think if I can show you where I'm looking at some action here. Let's see if I can't bring this up here real quick. And just for a little fun, you can follow me. There we go. You can follow me a little bit here over at their little contest here. I don't know if Mike likes me showing this, but I like to show when I'm winning something here and see if we can hang on a little bit with the pool here. I'm on top of this pool, but it's a pretty basic pool, but it does have a little bit of strategy to it. And remember, I said I'm chalky, so I've got all 6 of my teams left here going into today, and there's my opponents where they went a little bit deeper. They all went a little bit deeper here, but you got L. Kressler over there. You got Pete Loshak. He's got BYU as his big team here, right in here. And Spoons, if you're out there, he's got a big one here with Maryland. Kind of, if BYU wins, Loshak's going to win this pool. If Maryland wins, Spoons is probably going to win this pool. So just something I'm kind of following here. I think it's 600 for first, 300 for second over there. And right now, I'm think I can win out and maybe win this thing if my teams win. Like I said, I've got Duke, Houston, Florida, Auburn, Tennessee, and Ole Miss. The way it worked, you spend your points, and I just went with all these chalky teams up here, all the chalk, basically, the top seeds. And I thought that was the strategy because I thought it would be a chalk heavy or the high seeds would win. I wasn't expecting Cinderellas. That was my strategy. I think I've been clear the whole way that I was on the SEC. 4 of my 6 picks are on SEC teams. So here I am leading that little contest over there right now. So just thought that was something I could kind of show there real quick and show you them winning that one. And all right, let's get a few more plays here from you guys. Thomas says, I think Florida's coming to get this. I'm going to lay the points and the money line. And NYC Bar says Maryland won their last game by just 1 point. I think that's what he means there. I know that these teams haven't met in a few years, so. All right, I'm on the under here in this one because, like I said, I think Maryland will try to dictate a little bit of pace. There's no doubt Florida is a top team offensively here in the country right now, but I'm going to take under here in this one at 157. All right, let's go to the late action now with Arizona taking on Duke here in this one. With Duke favored here by 9 currently, maybe even 9.5 here at some spots. Duke expected maybe to get a blowout of Arizona. Could that happen here? Total 153, 153.5 or so. Arizona's won 4 of their last 5 coming in. Their tournament wins so far have come over Akron and Oregon. They covered against the Zips. They did not get the money, of course, against Oregon in that 4-point win. They were mostly laying 4.5 for Duke here. They won and covered easy against Mount St. Mary's, easy against Baylor here. So does Duke. Keep it going here. They've gone 10-2 against the spread in their last 12 games overall. Arizona just 3-5 ATS as an underdog. Arizona's gone over in 5 of their last 7 games overall. Arizona's also gone under in 8 of their last 9 games against ACC competition. Arizona here, 5-2 straight up in their last 7. I want to say. Let me look at some of the what did I say? 4 of their last 5. 4 of their last 5. I got it here. For Duke here, they've gone over in 9 of their last 12 games coming in. They're on a 10-game winning streak right now. 4 out of the last 5 meetings between these two teams have gone under. They played a game already this season back on November the 22nd. Duke won the game 69-55. It was in Tucson, so Duke won and covered pretty easily on the road. It went well under in that game. The total in that game was 161.5. So this one quite a bit lower, but of course, it went for just 124 points in that game. I am taking the under in this game as my selection here on the show. Let's go to your picks here in the chat and see what you have right now in this game between Arizona and Duke. Final Four night, the late games at the Final Four. With, let's see here. Philly Eagle Flyer in there, so he's got some nerfies going on. Thomas is going to start us off with the Duke. Oh, Sharpie's here to give us some
Final.
Sharpie's play of the day, hopefully here. Thank you so much, Sharpie. What an honor to have you on opening day here. Don't forget, check out, Sharpie. I don't know the schedule. Maybe Sharpie can plug us in real quick, Sharpie, before you go. One of the best shows on YouTube sports, YouTube baseball betting, The Walking Dead, of course. Sharpie's great show, and you see Mikey Money on there quite a bit as well. He's got Clay Holmes to record 14.5 outs over minus 150. So thank you so much to Sharpie. Have a great season and a great opening day. We're going to give a bunch of plays out here shortly in baseball. NYC VAR says Duke money line and the over. Jermaine's going to take Arizona in a big upset here on the money line. And let's see here. Bobby Mack is on Duke. Joe T likes the over in this one. Dakota's War is here and says, take Duke. Not comfortable about it, but take Duke. James Parm on Duke here. Philly Eagle Flyers got some baseball action. Thank you. Thank you, Sharpie. 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern. And check out The Walking Dead with Sharpie today. Ready for that baseball season. We're going to at least give a pick out in every game. We'll talk about maybe where the teams stand and let the trends and statistics kind of bear out over the first week or so until we see it building up here a little bit. We're not going to refer to any, too many trends in the start of baseball season here. So, all right, Terrell says on paper, this looks like an over, but he's got it around the 74-65 range, right on line with the spread, it looks like. But he does say to take the under there. I'm on the under with him. Dakota says Arizona could barely beat Oregon, and they got to go up here against Florida, against the Dukies here. And Nate, I know this, Nate, they won that second quarter. Woo! Did the Celtics ever win that second quarter yesterday? Here's Alabama, lay it. And I was on the Celtics, Nate. I was on the Celtics here on the show yesterday. Jerry giving his pick on the Alabama game there. All right, that might be it for this one. I'm on a couple of unders here so far with Maryland Duke, or with Maryland and Florida, and Arizona and Duke. Okay. Well, there's one more here. Let's get to it. With Arkansas and Texas Tech here in this one. You got Texas Tech favored by 5.5 here, it looks like right now, and the total 148. And maybe I'm going to mark it 5.5, 148 right now. With Arkansas going up against Texas Tech here in this one for the Hogs here. They come in with a mark of 11, 2-2 against the spread. Their last 15 games, Arkansas has gone over in
Final.
5 of their last 6 games. Coming into this one, Arkansas has won 5 of their last 6 coming in. Their tournament wins here over Kansas and St. John's. They got the money in both of them. Although, man, this is a coaching mismatch if I've seen one. It feels like in this now that we get into this level, it does feel like, man, Texas Tech and what Beer's been doing has been terrific here right now. Texas Tech, they didn't cover against Wilmington, but they were laying 15, but they hammered Drake. Could argue that maybe the easier path has been for Texas Tech here in this one. Texas Tech has won 6 of their last 7 coming in, just 2-4 against the spread, however, for Tech in those last 6 games. Texas Tech has won 6 of their last 7. 4 out of the last 5 meetings between these two teams have gone under, but they haven't met in a couple years here since kind of an old school matchup, really, but not anymore. You got Arkansas, of course, in the SEC now, so see what you guys have here in this one between Arkansas and Texas Tech. Arkansas has won 8 straight non-conference games coming into this one. Let's go to the chat here and see what you have. All right, try to find it here. Jerry Davis is on Florida. We're back on Florida there on that other game. Thank you, Jerry. Thomas says Texas Tech money line. I'm thinking Thomas might be doing a little money line parlay here maybe today. Joe likes the over here in this one. And, you know, Joe, and he's got his over. And, well, maybe don't give away the premiums here, Joe. Here's James Parham. He likes the over NYC. I'm no secret here. We might have our first consensus here anyways, so that's fine. Here, Fernando on Texas Tech. And Robert's on the over here. And let's see here. Yep. And let's see. Yeah, that's oh, Jerry said, what was I mentioned here? I was just lost there, of course. No doubt, Jerry McCaslin here, or what's his? I don't even know his first name. That's so that's bad. God, I can't even think of this guy's first name. McCaslin, the coach of Texas Tech. There it is, Team Steam, Texas Tech over here. Let me mark that down. Team Steam consensus play here. First one, our only one here on the night. Over in this one between Arkansas and Texas Tech. That's what I was more thinking. Oh, is that Terrell going with? Is that what Terrell's doing, going with Arkansas on the money, Calipari's money line? That'll be the topic of the weekend. If they win this game, that Cal gets them into the Elite Eight. That's what yeah, Jim, you called it. That's what I was thinking of. A little old school, right? Jerry's going to take the points and go over with the Hogs. Jim's on the Razorbacks as well. I got to think it's going to be look, we've got some lopsided spreads here. I'm going to try Arkansas. I'm going to try to roll with Coach Cal here to take the points. I don't know if they can. I don't think they can win this game, actually, but I'll grab the points here as my play on the show with Arkansas tonight. All right. Jerry there says, got team total, Duke and Alabama money line parlay. Grant McCaslin, thank you. So I I stand by what I said. I still think it is a X's and O's mismatch from what we've seen from this coach. I think everybody. I got every coach ahead of Coach Cal. Now look, don't. We're not talking about recruiting here. We're not talking about. Cal's great. I love Cal. It's just when it gets down to it, X's and O's wise, I don't think he matches up with any coach actually here. But I'm going to take him to do it here and hang in there and make this one a close, exciting game tonight, especially if the other game's a blowout. We're going to need a close one. So, man, that's it for the action here in the final, in the Sweet 16. All right. Jerry's saying that same thing. He says, doesn't Coach Cal there? Terrell, that's awesome, Terrell. All right, that's it for the Sweet 16. We'd spend a half an hour on it if we could. And Jimmy says, could Tortorella get fired here? Is that what he's talking about? All right. You know what's next, you guys?
Final.
We're not going to the hardwood. We're not going to the ice. We're going to the major leagues, baby. Let's talk Major League Baseball here, at least for an hour or so. Try to get through these games, look at all the pitching matchups and lines here today with some of these incredible matchups, huh? And we'll just talk about the teams in general before we get a few. We need some stats. We need some batting averages. We need some two for fours and 3 for fours and home runs and RBIs to talk about. We could maybe talk about some of the new personnel if you want. Go ahead and tell me what you think in each matchup here. If you want to put in your season win totals or something like that, that's all fair game today. You got Peralta going up against Carlos Rodon here in this one today. And for the Yankees here, I think in general, you look at what the Yankees can do this season. They're still the Yankees. Let's be fair about it. I think they've made the playoffs in 12 of the last 16 years. Of course, they lost the World Series last year, their first trip to the series in 14 years. Last year, the Yankees were 73 and 40. Let's see, were they 73 and 46? Against right-handed starters, but just 21 and 23 against left-handed starters. So pretty good when you think about it. The Yankees, kind of hit right-handers pretty well here. I think that was the case last season for the Yanks. And, of course, they're going up against Peralta, a righty here. For the Milwaukee Brewers here, they've been a perennial playoff team over the last 7 years. They've made the playoffs in 6 of their last 7 years, but last year was kind of a off year for the Brewers for sure, as they had a losing season and they had won over 90 games in the previous 3 years out of the pandemic. So a little bit of a rough one for the Brewers here, but let's see if you got a pick in this one with Milwaukee and the Yankees. The widely reported steam did come in on the under here. There's some 7.5 overs out there, but it's mostly 8 under. This line has definitely dipped. The move is apparently on the Brewers here. It's probably down to $1.45 or $1.40 even at some books, even the sharp books. I'm seeing some $1.38 here, a little bit in this one. Like I said, that widely reported steam did come in on the under, but let's see what you have here, if anything. Milwaukee and the Yankees to start off the season here today. All right. This is fun and exciting, isn't it? I mean, geez. Here's Perky gets us. Perky's the first to go here in baseball season. He'll take the Brewers and Peralta, their bullpen. Rodon, not exactly. Look, I don't know if either of these guys are your, top level star they are for the, they're the opening day starters, make no doubt. Here's Joe T on the Brewers here. Fernando likes the over in this one. Thomas likes the Yankees on the money line. Blue says Rodon's going to get rocked here in this one. I think what we'll do, I can look at my, lineups here a little bit and maybe kind of weigh it out that way, because there definitely is some big advantages to me, it looks like, for the Brewers in this lineup. There's Bobby Mack here talking, that's his Bobby like the Brewers here. All right, he like Timmy Chushu on the Yankees here. Blue doesn't like the Yankees. Here's Brewers money line for Philly Eagle Flyer. How about Brewers first 5 money line? I think for Churio, Contreras, Hoskins, Ortiz, those bats I think have the advantage here. The right-handed bats there of the Brewers, for me, kind of feels like the real advantage here in this game. And Thomas says we're off on running here on a consensus play with the Brewers. Hello. All right. I'll side with you. You know what? We got so many plays here, so let's just do it this way. Consensus play on the Brewers here in this one, and I will take the under as my play. We want to have some variation here and some variety a little bit. Fernando, Brewers first 5. Here's Jermaine. He's on the Brewers. Teresa on Milwaukee. All right, and Joe leaning to the over. I'm going to take the under, though, in this one with the Brewers and the Yankees. Opening day, I'm going to have some unders. So let me know, Joe. All right, next up. The Baltimore Orioles go north of the border to take on the Toronto Blue Jays. Zach Eflin for the Orioles, and Berrios goes here for Toronto in this one, and the line currently has shifted here overnight. I think the Orioles were favored when I typed these up. I typed these up a long time ago last night with this show, typing in all the graphics here. I'm the graphics man. In fact, Toronto might be $1.20 or so. 8.5. I'm sorry, Sports Money, if you're out there, I'm sorry if I screwed anything up. I think I got scolded on the pre-gaming show there. Yes, I don't know what I did. I don't know how I screwed anything up. I hope I didn't screw anything up here on our Sports Money Network graphics package, but everything's working here for me this morning. So hopefully Mikey will be back with his, he had to use my graphics package or something like that was going on there. But I know that sometimes the program hangs a little bit too. So you've seen it in here too, where I've gone on and I've got Mikey's package, and it's not like it's, I've changed it, but it doesn't change. Got to refresh it or something, but it takes you off the air if you do it. So once you're in, you're stuck. So I always test it before, but Mikey might have been rushed or I may have screwed it up. Anyways, here we go with the Orioles and the Blue Jays here. Let me see what you guys think of these two teams this season and in this game, of course. Got American League matchup here. For the O's here, they definitely, a team that can, come close to winning 100 games over the last couple of seasons, right? They won 100 2 years ago. They won 90 last year. And, just an incredible turnaround for this franchise from just where they were 4 or 5 years ago. Remember, they just a couple years ago were down there and won 50, few games over 50 wins. So it's been a great turnaround. They got a nice manager in Hyde, doing a real good job with this program right now for sure. For the Blue Jays here, look, they made the playoffs in 3 of the last 5 years, but they haven't won a playoff game in those years. Last year, the Blue Jays, you're going up against Eflin here, and Blue Jays, probably a little bit better. They struggled against lefties a little bit, but going up against Eflin here, maybe it'll be an okay situation here. Toronto's already been a pretty popular play among handicappers and experts, it feels like, here in this one. Blue Jays just 19-30 in one-run games last year, so they really got to, keep working on that bullpen. It feels like a little bit. You figure the Orioles probably can have a top 10 offense this season. My favorite hitters today in this game. I don't know. I'm going to be on the fade here. Let me get the comments from you guys. I'm going to be on the fade on some of these bats, maybe a few unders here. Let's see what you got. Jermaine says, what I'm thinking. Here's Perky, likes the Blue Jays on the money line. Blue likes the Orioles here. I think a run line here for Teresa. That's a Milwaukee run line on that last game, I think is what she's saying. Jermaine likes the Orioles here on the run line. Teresa, Toronto money line. Here's Thomas on the Blue Jays. And Timmy says Eflin gives up homers in the dome. He's got Guerrero for a double. He's got Springer for a homer
Final.
here. Now look, I think Eflin can have some good matchups here. We'll see, Santander now on the Blue Jays. So he's probably got a tough matchup, though, against Eflin. So probably does Jimenez as well. Teresa's on Toronto. Robert Franklin likes the Orioles on the money line. Terrell's got some BVP for us here with the with Gunner here. What is Gunner's status, though? What is Gunner's status, though, actually? Isn't there, let me see here. Yeah, he is not, he is starting the season on the injured list, so don't worry about that one, Terrell. I thought that was, okay, here we go, Mets run line, or let's see. Jays here for Robert. Robert also on the under here. Here's Fernando on the O's. Let's see here. Blue is on the Blue Jays. How about that? Philly Eagle Flyer liking the over in this one. Thomas says, first day tread lightly. Now, I almost got scolded also by some friends, because I like to go heavy on opening day. I believe that opening day is the day to kind of go a little bit heavier than, because you have your number one starter. It does not get any more straightforward than today. Now, yes, you want to see everything but I would say if you had to take the first series of 3 or 4 games of a weekend series, I'd go heavier on the opening day games. So, all right, Barrios dominates the Orioles here, Jerry says. Great point there as well. All right, I think that's going to do it in this one. I'll make my call here right now. And here we go. All right. And I will take the under here in this one with Baltimore and Toronto. Uh-oh, 2 unders so far for me. Here we go. Next up, Phillies and the Nats here with Mackenzie Gore going for the Nats. We got Wheeler here for the Phillies. Phillies, big road favorite here over the Nationals today. In this one, take a look at some of these batter-pitcher matchups as well. Feels like a pretty good advantage for some of these Phillies hitters, certainly against Mackenzie Gore. You got to like the matchups here for Harper and for Schwartz and for Kepler here in this one.
Final.
Ooh. What do we got? Some more Chinese basketball finals coming in. And yeah, we did get that win with Tianjin plus 9.5 over Shanxi Zhangzhou. As final score is 123-122. So we swept our overnight sports there today. How about it? All right. Who needs these American sports when I can just crush these all day? Maybe we'll just have a show with 10 people watching and do overnight foreign sports if that's all I can win. All right. Here we go. Phillies and the Nats here in this one. Some of the get my notes out. I feel like I'm just going off what you guys have, and what I'm doing doesn't even matter here right now. All right, here we go. Phillies and Nats today. Of course, Washington here. It's been real tough sledding here for the last 5 seasons. They have not been great for sure, but they've let all their good players go over the years a little bit. So Phillies made the playoffs in the last 3 seasons, so it's been pretty strong here of late. Of course, they just played in the World Series a few years ago. Remember? Won 7 of the last 10 meetings between these two. When we get into some of these matchups here, division matchups and things like that, maybe we could talk about Baltimore, Toronto too. But for this series, the Phillies kind of have the better of it here. It seems like of late between these two teams last season. You're starting to fold in some of your plays already in the chat. Let me go to it here. I think for the Washington bats here against Wheeler, and you got some trouble spots in there at the top of the lineup. Cruz, maybe a tough matchup there for Dylan Cruz going up against Wheeler. Let's see here what you guys have. Abel was on the Orioles back there. I don't know which game that is. Here's Perky, likes the Phillies on the run line here. Philly Eagle Flyer likes the Phillies. Washington for Jermaine here today says if I can get a price on opening day with some of these, he might be willing to do it. Of course, you got Gore, the left-hander, in here. And Phillies money line for Thomas. Phillies run line for James Parham. I can't get any of these. I don't know where to get any of those Philly Eagle Flyer. Probably some DraftKings or something there. Here's a little Nerfy action here for Robert. We'll throw in our Nerfy stats once we get the season rolling here a little bit. And then I'm going to side here. Let's see. Take a look at some run lines here, possibly. I kind of want to get on Washington here a little bit. Tough matchup. They're minus $1.30 on the run line. I'm going to take Washington here, plus a run and a half at minus 130. I'm going to take the Nats today in this one. Experts that I follow are definitely on Philly here by about a 4-to-1 ratio overnight, but I'm going to take the Nats here in this one on the run line.
System play.
All right. Well, the Red Sox. Talk about a team that, look, the Red Sox are obviously being talked about as a World Series contender here now, especially with the addition of their new ace, Garrett Crochet, coming into this one, right? I mean, can't miss situation with him, but man, yeah, for sure with Boston. Yes, they've made some moves. They could be able to turn this around somewhat, right? There's no doubt they've missed the playoffs the last 3 seasons, and they can't even, finish over 500. And now all of a sudden we've got them practically going to the World Series here now. Hopefully it will be a better season for the Red Sox to what they've been. They've made the playoffs just once in the last 6 seasons. Coming in, so they need a big turnaround, and all of a sudden we're kind of putting them all the way, taking them all the way. Now Crochet is going to bring a big anchor, man. We talked about how awesome he was, obviously, with the White Sox, and just with a crummy team, we couldn't get anything, going with those guys. But this is going to be a better situation for him, no doubt. For Texas here, they've made the playoffs just once in the last 8 years. Of course, they won the World Series in that. Let me get a little bit of a steam play here right now in the NBA with the matchup between Atlanta and Miami tonight. A little steam coming in right now on the under. Atlanta and Miami, it was 227.5. We're down to 226 here right now with Atlanta and Miami. Steam to the under in the NBA. We'll preview the games in a little bit. All right, let's talk about this one, though. Anyways, for the Rangers, yeah, they won that World Series, of course, 2 years ago, and they got, pretty good manager. I'm a big fan of Bruce Bochy, of course. He's won the World Series a few times. Rangers really good at 9-2 in extra innings last year. Let's take a look here at some of the lineup, some of the matchups here in this one, because I think it could be a little bit tough sledding here for some of these Red Sox bats, like Bregman here today, Trevor Story as well, Colton Wong going up against Eovaldi, but Crochet probably a pretty solid matchup here for him against this Rangers lineup. Seager been battling some injuries. He'll be in there on opening day today, it looks like, and that's a good sign here for Texas. And those bats are going to have a good offense, right? Simeon, Langford, Jock Peterson, Adolis Garcia as well. So Red Sox look ready to go with Duran, Devers, Briggs as well. Let's go to the chat a little bit, see what you have here in this one. Just feels like a good matchup for Crochet here at a pretty decent price. I'm showing $1.20 there right now. Maybe even a little less here. Total 7.5 flat for the most part. And let's see what you have in this one. Red Sox and Rangers today. All right. Oh my God, Philly Eagle Flyer has to drive 10 minutes to get those. I love the dedication. Okay, here we go. Oh, Nasty Nate says the Red Sox will smash in this game. And yeah, right, it was as bad as they were. Maybe they can get that money. Here's Thomas on the Red Sox today. Blues got an under trifecta here. He's got a lot of letters here. First 3, first 5, under. Schwarbs to hit a homer for Fernando. Roberts on the Rangers here in this one. Abel likes the Rangers, but he'll take them plus a 1.5. A big minus money, however. Sox first 5 for Philly Eagle Flyer. Perky says Red Sox first 5 to the Rangers money line. Here's Jerry Davis. He likes the Sox here. All right. Well, I'm going to be on the under here in this one with Eovaldi and Crochet. I've got 3 unders so far in baseball's opening day. How about this pitching matchup between Paul Skeens and Sandy Alcantara? Today, you got the Pirates on the road here, $1.45. And the total here, 6.5 under 15, our low total of the day. Here, at least with the early games in this one. All right, let me bring it up here, make sure I get the right notes here. All right. Now, the Marlins could have a pretty tough time here, obviously, with this lineup against Skeens, you would think, with this. You got Xavier Edwards leading off. You got Jonah Bride in there. You got, who are these guys? Matt Mervis in this Wagaman. This Marlins lineup is so thin. The Pirates, at least, are sending out some veterans here against Sandy, but still could be a pretty good matchup for Sandy here as well, going up against Pham, Reynolds, Cruz as well. Uh, for the Bucks here, you look at they've missed. They haven't made the playoffs in 9 years coming into this season, and uh, they haven't been the playoffs. 2015 was last time they came in the playoffs. But, 76 wins in each of the last two seasons. So maybe there is hope. The Pirates have slowly improved here over the last couple of seasons, it feels like, anyway. Miami, they made the playoffs two times in the last 4 years. They were able to kind of surprise there. Remember, they had been in the playoffs in almost a decade before this, before after the out of the pandemic there. But last year was totally dismal. They lost 100 games. They have a new manager again, I think, this year. So a little bit rough here. But the widely reported steam did come in on the Miami Marlins here, and this price right now is still $1.45 or so on average, it looks like. And yeah, that's 6.5 under 15 for sure. So see if you got a play here in this one. Pittsburgh and Miami today. Got so many games here, you guys. I wish we could talk about. And when we get more stats, unless we can kick to the curb some of those hockey and basketball games. But man, this feels like it's going to be a hot pitching matchup for innings on end. It feels like today, doesn't it? Between these two. So can Sandy deal here? I think is what the feels like the question is for me. And let's see, I might be willing to take the Marlins here on the run line today, plus 1.5 minus 145. I'm gonna go ahead and do it. I got a 1-run game. I'm gonna take Miami on the run line here in this one. Lay a little chalk here. See what we got from you guys. I might have went a little too fast there with that. Okay, here we go. Perky's got Pirates first 5 and full game. Here's Jermaine. He likes the Pirates on the run line to crush this lineup. Yeah, they probably should. Maybe I'm a little crazy here. This lineup looks pretty bad, but just feels like the line's still a little bit high when you got Sandy out there. Thomas says Pirates on the money line. I think everyone knows I'm a big Sandy fan, but Jermaine says Sandy's cooked. Could this be it? Is that what Jermaine said, or just in this game? All right. Here's Jerry, likes schemes for 6 strikeouts. He says price is too high. Here's Abel, he's going with the Baratas. All right. Here's Fernando. He likes the Bucks here in this one, and Thomas says the Bucks are a consensus play here for us. Okay, I'm against the consensus here. I guess in this one, I'll take the Fish here on the run line. The Giants are taking on the Reds here in this one with Logan Webb up against Green. Here, the current line here with Hunter Green, maybe just the slightest of favorites here. Could be a pick 'em at a lot of spots right now. The total 7.5 over here. The widely reported steam did come in on the over in this matchup, but still hanging on there. It's 7.5 over at minus 115 coming in. For San Francisco, they've made just one playoff appearance in the last 7 years, but they, have really tailed off here over the last couple of seasons. They haven't been over 500 really since they had that incredible season back in 2021. They've made the playoffs just twice in 10 years. Did win the World Series, of course, 5 years ago, but things have gone down a little bit here for those Giants. They're still getting a lot of support here a little bit this season in that tough division. For Cincinnati, they've missed the playoffs in 10 of their last 11 seasons coming into this one, but they've got a new manager, of course, in Terry Francona. He's back. That feels like a big upgrade in the managerial department for sure for Cincinnati. Whether it's enough to bolster this team and this lineup here. You look at today's matchup for Logan Webb, pretty good matchup for Webb against guys like Friedel and Ellie Dela Cruz and Candelario and Gavin Lux. Webb should have a distinct advantage against those hitters, but Hunter Green does have a strong advantage, it feels like, over this Giants lineup of Wade, Adames certainly as well. We'll see if Jung-Hoo Lee makes this lineup today. I think he was questionable to be in the opening day starting lineup, but man, good matchup here feels like for Hunter Green. Let's see what you guys like here with San Francisco and Cincinnati here today. Go to the chat here. Really good to be talking baseball with you, even if we have to just brush over it here on opening day. Thomas likes the Reds on the money line here. Fernando's on the Reds as well. Blue is on the Reds. Getting a lot of Reds here. Jerry says Webb's an auto fade here. Cincinnati on the money line. Abel says you got that little bandbox in there. Robert's on the over. Jermaine's on the over as well. Fernando says, hey, I might like the Reds here in this one. With the Astros, parlay them up. Abel's on the Reds here. Thomas says the Reds are a consensus parlay here. How about that? All right. And I'm going to take the over here then in this one. You guys took a consensus play. I'm not agreeing or disagreeing. I just think there's so many plays. I want to make sure we have a lot to choose from, and I'll take the over here. We see some over support. The widely reported steam came on the over. And Jermaine says he might actually be on the dogs here in several games. All right, my Padres are in action in opening day against the Atlanta Braves and Chris Sale. Chris Sale's often dominated the Padres for sure in years past. Padres have had some problems with Sale in the past. And they're opening up with Michael King as their opening day pitcher. King had great numbers there in the second half and was part of the Padres' surge into the postseason. A lot of people are kind of down on this Padres team right now, certainly, but they've made the playoffs in each of the last 3 years, and if their bats didn't go cold, maybe they would have went to the National League Championship Series. They couldn't get a hit off the Dodgers, remember. Even though they did win a couple of games, it was a 3-2 in that division series. The Dodgers beat my Padres, but the big talk about the Padres has been the lack of spending here. I mentioned that the popular owner passed away last year, so now they have to. They've kind of solved things a little bit with the family and who's going to be running the team. One of the brothers is kind of taking over the stewardship of the team. So they say they're still going to spend. They haven't necessarily shown that just yet. But again, the timing of it was a little bit awkward there when it happened. And so pretty popular under here for a lot of experts here so far today. But for the Braves, look, I think we know that they've made the playoffs in 7 straight years right now, but only made the World Series once in those. And remember, they beat Houston in 6 games. They've had winning seasons for nearly a decade right now for Atlanta. So let's see what you have here. Chris Sale on the hill for the Braves. Feels like a really good matchup for these pitchers today. Actually, I mean, Sale could own this lineup. It feels like Arise, Tatis, Jackson Merrill, Manny Machado, Cronenworth, Bogarts could be a good matchup here. Now, that Padre lineup isn't awful, but for the Braves here, they'll lead off with a very popular Padre, expected to get a standing ovation when he opens up the game. Jurickson Profar, the Padres would have loved to have tried to keep him. It just couldn't work it out because of his price tag. Maybe was a little bit too heavy for really what his true contribution is, but what a team player. But still, it's a tough matchup for this lineup against Michael King, Profar, Riley, Olsen, Osuna. That could be a decent matchup here. Now, Sale's going to have the advantage here for sure, it feels like, in this one. But could we see here in a pitcher's park for sure? Let's see what you guys have in this one with Atlanta and the Padres today. All right, we're going to the chat. And let's see, Perky likes the Reds on the run line. Perky says the Braves, because of Sale, will mow through these Padres. He kind of owns them for sure. Thomas is on Atlanta here in this one. And Abel says, take the Braves here. All right. Jermaine going to take the Padres here. King still, he had great numbers, strong numbers there in the second half. Was a big reason the Padres were so strong. Philly Eagle Flyer on the Braves. Fernando's on the Padres here. Robert likes the under in this one. He also says take the Braves here. Jermaine says 4-3 or so. Yeah, we got to pay. Yeah, we got to pay it out we got to pay out yesterday's consensus winner there from yesterday. So, trying to remember who it was. Actually, I might have to. Who was it? Who was it again? It was oh gosh, I'll have to look it up. Actually, Jerry says King to get over 14.5 outs today. Jerry says, things kind of changed there in San Diego last season. There were more bombs, so to speak. Yesterday there were 230, and it was a 3-teamer, so it's a payout of about $12 or $13 for yesterday, but we'll give the winner his prize. I'll just have to look it up. Forgot who it was. That was one of our newer posters that's been doing a good job posting with us, but trying to remember here right now. All right. I'm going to look. It's tough against Chris Sale. I think I'm going to go with the Braves here. Maybe I'm being a martyr a little bit on the Padres a little bit, but I'm going to try the Braves here. Slight dog on the road. $1.25, even up to $1.30 here at some spots. I'll take the Braves. Guardians and Royals, Tanner Bybee going up against Cole Ragans here in this one. Steam came in on Kansas City here. They're $1.30, $1.35 or so. The total, 7.5 here for the most part. Maybe a little bit juiced. Maybe a little bit juice to the over here, it feels like, in this matchup. Now, should be a pretty good matchup for both pitchers here. For Cole Ragans, he could have a pretty strong matchup against this lineup. Quan, Ramirez, Manzardo, Santana, Thomas, Brennan. That does feel like a pretty good matchup for the left-hander Cole Ragans. For Bybee here, maybe against guys like India, Witt, and Sally, he could have a nice matchup here, it feels like. For Kansas City coming in, look, they made the playoffs last year. That was big. They had a great season. They really played well in the division, and that was key for them. They went 33-19 against their division opponents last year, and that was really a key to their success because they were really just a 500 team against the rest of the league. Meanwhile, for Cleveland here, they've made the playoffs in 6 of their last 9 seasons coming in. They've also been a 500 team almost every year for the past a decade or so. So, we make fun a little bit of sometimes the Kansas City, but man, what a season they had last year! Really strong. Let's see what you guys like in this one between Cleveland and Kansas City today. Cleveland's dominated this team, actually. Cleveland's won 9 straight meetings against Kansas. Let me see. No, I don't know if that's right here. Let me look real quick. Well, I know they've had some modest success against them here for sure. Let's see what you got here. I don't know if that number is quite right. Okay, here we go. Thomas is on Kansas City here in this one. And Jerry's on the Guardians here. Robert's on the Guardians as well. Jermaine may be on the Royals here. Remember, he's liking those home teams today. Bobby says good record, or Jerry says Bobby has a good record against this Royals lineup, and Ragan's not great against the Guards. Abel's on the Guardians here. All right. I think I'm going to navigate to another total here in this one. And I'm going to end up on the over here, actually, with these two today. That's 7.5. All right, next up, the Angels are taking on the White Sox here. You say Kikuchi favored on the Angels are $1.50 road favorite. So just goes to show you exactly where we are with this White Sox team again right now, and where we're headed. But I'll tell you what, I wouldn't sleep on this one today with Sean Burke. We'll see. He gets the opening day nod. He made his debut late last season. He's moved to the top of the rotation quickly. He was very, very strong last season when he came up and did a great job, man. He had a 1.42 ERA and a whip of 1. 9% walk rate, but obviously you'll be due for regression on that, but still, could be an interesting matchup for him against this Angel lineup of Ward, Schonnel, Trout, Jorge Soler as well. I expect Moncada will make it. He's had some injuries early on. But still, for me, I would think these week lineups would be okay for the pitchers here, even with a suspect. Both these teams very suspect coming in, but could be on opening day some success here for these two pitchers. It feels like I'm interested to see how Burke fares in this opener. The Angels have had 9 straight losing seasons, and you got to figure, with Trout and the crew, we'll see here, but. White Sox, they won 41 games last season. Of course, one of the worst seasons in modern baseball history, actually, after losing 100 games in each of the previous 2 years. Losing 121 games is really, really a historic low for any team in the modern era. Here. So it's funny because remember just several years ago, they were just in the American League Division Series. Feels like years ago now, but all right, let's see what you got here. Angels and White Sox today. And Thomas says he's going to go with the Angels here. Abel's going with the under in this one. And Jerry says Burke was struggling in spring training. And nothing, even Philly Eagle Flyer can't get involved here in this one. So All right, I'll make a call here. I give a call on every game here on the Morning Steam. And I'm actually going to grab the under here in this one with the Angels and the White Sox today as my pick. I got to start picking some sides here, don't I? Fernando's on the White Sox. All right, now we were talking. How about this one with the Mets and the Astros here today? We already saw Sharpie come in with his play on Holmes here against this lineup today. And you've got Framber Valdez going in this one. So, look, for Holmes, there was no doubt that Mendoza was going to name Holmes a starting pitcher. It feels like, he earned it for sure coming in. That's what Mendoza said anyway. And it was dominant in the spring. He struck out 13 and 9 2/3 scoreless innings in the spring. And Holmes, has had plenty of success, of course, as with the Yanks in in his other role here. It does feel like, but this is a different situation here a little bit right now, and it seems like it's going to be pretty good for Holmes in this role, a role that he's coveted. So should be a pretty good lineup here for the Astros, though, against him. Altuve, Paredes, Alvarez as well. The question mark was Christian Walker. Would he be ready to play with that oblique injury? But it looks like he will be in there today for the Mets here. This looks like kind of a tough matchup going up against Framber, actually. The widely reported steam did come in on the under in this game. It's driven it down here to 7.5 over at some spots. I think this is one worth updating. There is still some 8.5 unders out there, but it feels like the 7.5 is more popular right now. And the Astros here, mostly $1.25 or $1.30 here in this one. But again, tough matchup, even for this Mets lineup, it feels like to me, against Framber with a, good lineup, certainly. Lindor, Soto hits second. You got Pete Alonso, you got Vientos, you got Nimmo in there as well. So, good lineup. Feels like a tough matchup. Let's see what you got here with the Mets taking on the Astros here. Good game to get it going. Houston's made the playoffs in 8 straight seasons, of course, 2 World Series championships, but they've definitely changed it up. Everybody's making fun of Jose Altuve in the outfield, not looking too good out there. They've got Christian Walker over at first base. They've got Paredes playing third base. So we'll see. Could defense be an issue for this team? For the Mets here, they still have made the playoffs 2 of the last 3 years. And, they've got an owner that wants to spend money and he wants to win. So that's a big thing for the Mets. And that should be enough to be able to try to propel this team into the postseason. But let's see what you've got here in this one between the Mets and the Stros here today. Houston's won 10 of the last 11 meetings between the two teams in Houston, and 11 of the last 13 overall have been won by Houston between these two teams. It's been a dominant series for sure. Okay, here we go. Jermaine says Framber strong at home. Here's Abel taking the Mets on the run line here. Robert's going over here in this one. All right, I'll make my call here between the Mets and the Astros. Boy, this is fun. Oops. All right, let me call it up here. Let me make sure I give my best My second bet, you know how it goes here. Thomas likes the Mets on the run line here in this one. All right. I'm going to take Framber, of course. Give me the Astros here at home against the Mets. I still think I have big questions about the Mets, actually. I'm not going to doubt this lineup a little bit, but I'm worried more about the chemistry here. But I know that's not something you're supposed to use as part of your long-term handicap, but we'll see. They're the team with more to prove than the Astros here, and I think $1.30 is going to be okay for me. Give me the Astros. Twins and Cardinals with Lopez going up against Gray. Here in this one, you've got the Twins, a road favorite, $1.15, and the total 7.5 under 20 in this one. Let's see what we got here with these lineups coming in. I mean, you got some pretty weak lineups for sure. That could be a factor. This Minnesota lineup right now, I'm not very confident in it with Wallner leading off, Correa, Buxton, Larnach, Miranda. It's an okay matchup here, but again, I just think this lineup is probably one of the weaker to me in the league. And still, the Cardinals, this is probably a bottom 8, bottom 10 lineup right now here with let's see here what they're going to do with this lineup. You know, a lot of talk that it could be Mason Wynn leading off, but it looks like they've already said it'll be Lars Nootbaar leading off here in left field right now. So not quite ready yet to put Mason Wynn at the top of this lineup. He'll be hitting 9th here, it looks like, today. And they'll move Nootbaar to the top of the lineup. Wilson Contreras, Arenado, and Donovan after that. So we'll see. St. Louis rare missing the playoffs in 2 straight seasons. Believe it or not, that's almost unheard of for this team. It's been a long time since the Cardinals have won a World Series for their team anyway, almost 15 years right now. So for the Twins here, they've missed the playoffs in 3 of the last 4 seasons coming in. And, you know, if they get to the postseason, they never could win anyways. But last year, the Twins struggled in games against National League teams, just 18-28 overall. And also, they do well in their division, but everything else is kind of tough for Minnesota. Let's see what you got here in this one between these two. 13 of the last 19 meetings between these two teams have gone under when they've met in St. Louis. Of course, they only meet a reduced schedule each year, but let's see what you got here in this one. And let's go to it. And Thomas here might be on Minnesota. Abel's on the under. Here's Sports Money this morning. Good morning to Sports Money. You'll have to rewind it, Sports Money, to find my apologies for screwing up the backstage there. I don't know what I did. It's happened to me as well, but I don't know what was going on there yesterday. So sorry if I screwed up the channel here, brother. All right, here is Robert on the under. He likes the Twins as well. Not much from you guys on this one. This one feels a little, maybe a little bit nondescript here with these two. Irish Kings here today in the chat. Can you believe we're almost done with this baseball card? All right. Let's see, make the call here on this one. And I'm going to take another over here in this matchup with Minnesota and St. Louis. All right. Now we're moving to the late games here in Major. I should have saved these for Mikey and reduced my workload. Is what I should have done. There are 3 night games, night games, if you know what I mean. All these were at least 4:15 Eastern and 1:15 Pacific games. But now we're into the little bit of a night card here. It feels like with the Tigers taking on the Dodgers at 7:10 Eastern and 4:10 Pacific time, with a couple left-handers. Our only matchup featuring 2 left-handers today, with Tariq Skubal on the mound going up against Blake Snell. Good luck to you, Blake, and hope you enjoy your time there with the Dodgers. Take a look at these lineups today and see what we got in the matchup with the Tigers on the road here at the Dodgers tonight. For the Tigers here, feels like a real tough matchup, man, against Blake Snell with this lineup. We'll see. It doesn't look like their prospect here, Wenzel Perez, is going to be ready yet. He's got a back problem right now. So look, here's a guy who could end up leading off for Detroit, but right now he's going to miss the start of the season. So you'll have guys like Riley Green, Gleyber Torres, Kerry Carpenter certainly there, probably batting in the middle of the order as well. You'll have Colt Keith, Torkelson in this one. The widely reported steam did come in on the Dodgers here, but look at this price. It's lower than this right now, even $1.60 or so. Gosh, it seems cheap really for this matchup. Now, granted, I'm not going to fret here with especially with Tariq Skubal in here. They're giving Detroit their best chance. Detroit made the playoffs, of course, last season for the first time in 10 years, and they did go 21-12 against left-handed pitching last season. So they also went 21-10 with Skubal as a starter. So pretty good number, obviously for Skubal. For the Dodgers here, of course, they make the playoffs every year. They've actually won 2 World Series in this decade, so good on them for sure. But they, certainly going to have a strong season. You look at the odds. I've joked about it already. I mean, who really would want to bet the Dodgers at this price to win the World Series? This is Major League Baseball, and anything can happen. I mean, this is almost a historic low odds for a World Series favorite. It feels like right now at plus 250, plus 300 maybe here. Major League Baseball has so many twists and turns, but the Dodgers have one of the greatest lineups in baseball history to start the season right now, it feels like. Now, Mookie Betts, look, if anything, it feels like Mookie's kind of rushing this situation. I mean, the way they're portraying it, he was on his deathbed here for the last 3 weeks, and there has to be something to that. Talk about a weight loss and things like that. I mean, come on, he's a great hitter and a great athlete, but if he was really, I take it from me, right? Look how good I look today, right? And comparatively to how I've been Mookie Betts in it over here for the last few days. I feel like I have to sleep every 5 hours right now. I got to take a nap. So Mookie's going to be ready to go out there in the lineup today after all this illness he's had. But no, all jokes aside here, this lineup, man, Ohtani, Betts, Mookie, Teoscar, Max Muncy, Will Smith, Conforto, my man Tommy Edman in there. Really great lineup. Now, it's still going to be really tough against Tariq Skubal. I mean, it just feels like this game is going to be super low scoring game, right? For sure. With these two, this Tigers lineup is not very impressive, quite frankly. I probably got him as a bottom 5 lineup here coming in. So see what you want to do. If I'm shortchanging the Tigers lineup, go ahead and let me know. But I'm not totally impressed by it. I'm impressed by the Tigers as a whole for getting it done last season, but still feels like to me not a great lineup. All right, let's go to your picks here. Detroit just 5-10, their last 15 games in LA. Here we go. Gotta scroll back here. Abel's on the Dodgers run line here in this one. Thomas says Dodgers money line. Yeah, but you're getting a discount, so I don't mind that. All right, here's Jerry's got Tigers first 5 and full game. Says Blake Snell struggles early on in the season. He gets stronger as the season goes on. And we know he doesn't roll deep into games too. Here's Abel. Says take the Dodgers to win the first 2 games there, I think is what he's saying. Maybe it's me, AOD. I'm just kind of keeping it low here today, keeping a low pro. Fernando's on the over here. Trying to rest my, get too excited. That's when I start getting all choked up. Abel says Mookie is fine for this. Maybe it was overblown. You got to find some storylines, these Dodger beat writers here. Abel says they'll get to that bullpen. A little steam coming in right now in the NBA. We're almost to the NBA segment, but I'll mention this one right now, our first game. Steam coming in on the under here between Dallas and Orlando. It was 219. We're down to 217.5 here right now. Dallas and Orlando taking some steam to the under in the NBA right now. Robert McCormick says Dodgers run line here. Or no, Dodgers -1 here. And that'll get it down, huh? All right, that could be it. And look, you can see all the odds here behind me in Major League Baseball today. Always check out the odds board here with our live lines here a little bit. And also, I see right there also, did we totally neglect today's soccer card? There's our La Liga game today. We're stuck in there with Barcelona and Osasuna. That's our one featured matchup in international soccer for sure today. How about that? You got the Orioles and the Blue Jays, the Brewers and the Yankees, Barcelona and Osasuna. There's all the baseball lines today. Always fresh and hot lines here on our big scoreboard. These are all live and accurate. There you see they're all, so you don't always have to look at my ugly mug here. You can always check out the live lines. They're always moving. This is a live scoreboard behind me. I know a lot of you know that, but just want to mention that here. Okay, while I kind of delay and try to make my call here, because I'll just take the Dodgers here as my play. I know that's pretty chalky, but man, I gotta like the total in this one for a premium. So give me the Dodgers to win at $1.60. Again, that feels like a discount when it was as high as $1.75. That's what I call value. All right, here, let's see. Oh, hey, hi, Gorky. He likes Arthur Fees. Let me just take a second to update the tennis situation here. Novak Djokovic wasn't too happy about that late match. And gosh, you guys, how did I blow this one out of the monologue? Obviously, the huge story here right now is in a way in tennis with Alex Ayala knocking off last night Iga Swiatek in that 3-setter. What a dynamite lady this young woman, already the greatest Filipino tennis player of all time at 19 years old. And she gets it done last night. Now she'll have to face Jessie Pegula next, but who knows? I mean, she'll probably beat her too. This woman is on fire right now, and what a sweetheart. Oh, she's terrific. So awesome. And to beat, she kept, now Iga was not serving well, and every time on that second serve, Ayala was just putting her away pretty much. So what a performance last night. But here, that early match there for Gorky, with Fees over Mensick. It's a near toss-up. He says put him in there with the Yankees there a little bit. And other matches today include Sabalenka, $5 favorite over Paolini. You got Joker here. However, this has happened because, Joker does whatever he wants to do and has to do whatever they tell him, right? So Arthur Fees, who I think his match was pretty late yesterday, right? And now he has to come back and play the 1 p.m. match while Korda and Djokovic minus 435, they play at 4:30 Eastern. So, Djokovic sounds like he was. Now, they say in the rule, we don't start matches after 11 p.m. in Miami, which is fine, but they kept pushing that time back like they were trying to get it started and never got underway. The other match also today, Taylor Fritz and Berrettini there. Dimitrov is already advanced into the semifinals. So, all right, that's our tennis update. Almost forgot. That was the story. Okay, maybe LeBron was the story of the day, but to me, Jerry's saying it right now. There it is, right? And if anything, Jerry, we didn't give it out. We did give out a one time, I think, on the VIP picks, but we've talked about her enough to think that we've kind of been on her a little bit, just rooting for her anyway, right, Jerry? How awesome. And right, look at this. Well, yeah, Gorky, probably so, but that late match last night, no doubt about it, did go pretty late. All right, Jerry says just wait there. Just wait. All right. Did I make my call? Yeah, I took the Dodgers. Couple more. We got to go, you guys. It's fun, but what do you think this is going quickly, man? We're going to do those baseball or those hockey games and basketball games. How about the Cubs taking on the Diamondbacks? You got Justin Steele and Zach Gallen here in this one, and Gallen $1.20 favorite here right now, and the total 8.5 under 20 here in this one with Gallen favored here against the Cubs. It just feels a little cheap to me. I don't know. Seems like a lot of experts are kind of coming in on Arizona here in this one, but we'll see. Cubs have won just 5 of the last 17 meetings against the Chicago Cubs. So we'll see. Where do you think these two teams stand heading into the season? Arizona's missed the playoffs in 6 of the last 7 seasons in the last 2 years. It pretty much have been just they've been over 500 for sure. This is a tough division, but look, they've won 84 and 89 games over the last 2 years coming in. For the Cubs, meanwhile, they missed the playoffs for 4 straight years. The last 2 years finished 83 and 79 in both of the last 2 seasons. So we'll see what the Cubs have in store for us with Steele here going up against Gallen. What do you think of these lineups? Coming in for me, I would think right now. I mean, I think this Arizona lineup is really good. It might be underrated. I feel like to me it's one of the best lineups in baseball. Coming in with Corbin Carroll, Marte, Gurriel, Naylor, Suarez. I think it's really unheralded. I think this Arizona lineup is going to be a big surprise this year. Or I don't know what if you would call it a surprise, but look, I know Corbin Carroll might be kind of the easy fade a little bit, right? Can he really continue this these awesome expectations? Yeah, why not? I mean, the guy's a superstar, it feels like at this point. For the Cubs here, I like this Cubs lineup, actually. I think they could be a big surprise this year with Happ, Suzuki, Tucker, and Bush in there. I look for this team to be a little bit of a surprise right now. We'll see. I mean, I know the expectations aren't totally off the charts with the Cubs here, but I think this lineup could be okay. Quite frankly, this year. So let's see what you have in this one between these two, Cubs and Arizona here. Let's go to the chat. All right. Jerry says story of the day was I got the hook on the Pacers. Good morning to Kiadra. Thank you. thank you for also visiting me on that afternoon show. If you guys don't know, I'm appearing on the Tony's Picks YouTube channel at 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 Pacific every day. Kiadra was over there. Thank you for sprucing up our chat. Here's Gorky. He's got his college basketball plays. Thank you. Abel making his own segment here with the West Coast parlay every day. Jerry's on the Diamondbacks run line here to roll. And let's see here. Thomas is on Arizona money line. Abel likes Arizona here. Jermaine likes Arizona. And yeah, we're back. We're back there, Nate. You know, I mean, I guess when you gotta, like they always say, you know, if you're willing to put in the work and do the content, appear on the shows, that's what people are looking for when it comes to doing the content. Like I always tell Mikey, and everybody says, I'm going to do some content until it's time to do the content. But this is what I do here, sit here all day, watch the games, talk on YouTube. Here's Kiadra, Arizona Nerfy here in this one. All right, I'll make my call right now between Arizona and Chicago tonight. Come on, this is too big of a discount, it feels like to me. I'm going to take the Diamondbacks for sure in this one. One more game only here. One more game. 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 Pacific over there, Nate. All right. Here's the Athletics against the Mariners. Don't call them Oakland. Don't call them Sacramento. Don't call them Las Vegas. Just call them the Athletics here. They'll be here in Las Vegas soon enough, but they go by the Athletics. It's kind of like, you know, they don't have a home, but we know they play their home games in Sacramento. This one on the road, of course, against the Mariners here. And I don't know. The Athletics are kind of my sleeper a little bit here, only because I think that, of course, in that division, now look, Texas certainly will have the bats. Seattle here just signed their man Raleigh to a contract and all that, but I think this division's pretty weak, and watch out. Maybe the Athletics could surprise here a little bit with some new momentum in Sacramento. They're really going to embrace this team. It may look a little bit transient for the Athletics, you know, just spending a couple of seasons there, but they're going to adopt this team for the short time that they're in there. They're going to get a lot of home support for sure. So I think this could be a little bit of a surprise for them. Now they have a long way to go if they're going to do anything as far as you know, damage is concerned. You know, scheduled to be in Sacramento for 3 years, actually. So remember, the A's were hot late last season as kind of the momentum built up for their departure from Oakland a little bit. They went 39-37 over the last half of the season. I think the Athletics are somebody to keep your eye on here, actually. Now, I may be homering it up a little bit, waiting for them to get here in Las Vegas, but comparatively, when you've lost you know, all those games that they did, they still lost like 90 games or something like that, and they're averaging losing 100 games over the last 3 seasons, so it can't get much worse. But when I say I'm riding the Athletics a little bit, I'm not saying they're going to the playoffs or anything. I just expect improvement from the Athletics immediately this season. For Seattle, they've only made the playoffs one time this decade. So remember that. For all the promise every year that they seem to have, they just can't get there in the end, it feels like. So last year the Mariners were 32-20 against the American League West, so, and they just missed the playoffs. We're not going to fault them that much. They missed the playoffs by just a game or two last season by the end of the season. So look, Seattle definitely has hopes to improve on that. Let's take a look at this one tonight with these two, with Severino going up against Gilbert. And man, that's going to be it for the baseball. But all right, for the athletics here, look, this lineup's going to be in a little bit of a trouble here, I would think, against Gilbert, especially guys like Rookers, Langoliers here, possibly, and Gio Ursula. Not a great matchup for these guys. Meanwhile, for Seattle, look out for this lineup a little bit, right? I think they could be top 10 lineup might be a good place to shoot for these guys. Look, you got a guy like Victor Robles here at the top of the lineup. Pretty interesting top of the lineup with J-Rod and Cal Raleigh signing that big contract. A Rosa Reyna in there and Luke Rayleigh as well. So watch out for this Seattle lineup a little bit. I know I just talked up the A's, but that's more just promise, while Seattle has kind of true aspirations here, it feels like a little bit. See what you have here with these two. 6 of the last 7 meetings between these two teams in Seattle have gone over. Let's go to the chat here in this one. That's it for baseball, you guys. How about it? Seattle money line for Thomas. Mariners money line for Jermaine. And here's Jerry says you can always trust these guys for an under, right? All right, let's see here. Nerfy here for Kiadra. Thank you for Stop Geo. Nice to see you. All right, I'll make my call in this one. I'm actually going to sneak this one over the total here tonight. Give me the over with the Athletics and Seattle. If I'm going to talk these lineups up, I better go over the 7 here in this one. Got a few overs today, didn't I? Yeah. All right. Oh, man, that's going to be great. Just a bummer. We have to wait for 4 hours to get these baseball games underway. Let's quickly now move to the NBA. We're going to move a little bit quicker, even more quicker than that. And, once we get some stats and some trends in baseball, we'll have more fun with it a little bit. I think we got to cover them all in Philly Eagle Flyer. I didn't even realize what you're saying. I didn't realize that Torts was. I thought you said they were going to fire him after tonight's game. I didn't even realize. We should have did I didn't even realize that Tortorella had been fired here today. So a little bit of breaking news. We kind of missed that one. I guess I didn't quite understand what Philly Eagle Flyer was saying there. So it's been obviously within the last couple of hours now. I can't believe that they kind of fired him, or did he fire himself? I don't know. Felt like it. Okay, let's get going here, though, real quick with these NBA games. We're just pretty much going to be picks here, it feels like, today with these two. Try to cover a few maybe numbers and trends, but man, this is a long show with a lot of games. We're basically only halfway through the show right now, but we'll speed it up a little bit and get it going here with the Mavs and the Magic. Let me get everything set up here with my NBA coverage there. A little bit tough with the baseball and trying to make sure I'm all organized. All right. So Dallas and Orlando both come in with similar records here, but really out of the two teams, you got Orlando. They are, most likely in the playoffs. For Dallas, it's a much more desperate situation here right now. They are tied with Phoenix here currently for that bottom spot in the play-in portion of the tournament. The widely reported steam did come in on the under here just a short time ago, as we talked about it during the baseball. segment here. So let's talk about these two. Orlando, we know they're a pretty good team, believe it or not, as a favorite. Orlando 23-17 against the spread as a favorite this season. That's been a nice surprise for them, but they are just 1-6 in their last 7 games at home against the number. Now, yeah, they've been an underdog in some of those games here because they're not great, but right now they've won 3 straight coming in, covering all of those games. 2 of them were on the road. However, remember, they beat the Lakers at home. Dallas has won 9 of the last 11 meetings against Orlando, but Dallas has lost 10 of their last 13 overall, including the last 2 against the Knicks and against Brooklyn here. So definitely some struggles. Dallas just 4-10 against the spread in their last 14 games coming in. So if anything, Orlando has the momentum. Dallas not so much here, it feels like right now. Let's see what you've got in this one with Dallas and Orlando today real quick here. And Thomas has the under here. Robert's on Dallas. Jermaine is on the under here. I'm on the Orlando Magic to get a blowout win here over Dallas today. Give me the Magic in this one. Kiadra says Magic and under 112-105. And let me see if that line then is dipped down. Yeah, it's still 7 for the most part. And the total is back up to 219, interestingly enough, right? We know that Orlando is a big-time under team, is a favorite, 15-25 to the under as a favorite, but Dallas has been all about the overs right now. They've gone over in 9 of their last 10 games coming in, 9 straight, I guess, is what it really is. And Orlando's gone over in 5 of their last 6. But still, that steam was reported on the under, and it went right back up to 219. Next up is the Pacers taking on the Nat. Somebody was in baseball mode last night. The Pacers are taking on the Wizards, of course. Oh, boy. There we go. Pacers are up to 12.5-point favorite. 235.5 right now in this one with Indiana and Washington here today. For the Pacers here, they've currently won 5 of their last 6 games coming in. They've won 4 out of the last 5 meetings against this lowly Washington team. Washington was on a big losing streak, remember, before they won last time out against Philadelphia last night. They got that win, 119-114. Both teams obviously on the back-to-back. The Pacers were at home and have to travel on the road after the heartbreaking loss last night. The Pacers are just 1-8 against the spread on the road in their last 9 games. So it doesn't matter who you're playing, you still got to cover a number, and they got to cover an increased number here, it feels like. But Washington also is having trouble covering the spread. Despite that win yesterday, they had failed to cover in 5 straight games before that. So can Indy get loose here on these guys after? Or will it be just enough to kind of get the win here a little bit? Remember, Washington wasn't terrible against the number there for a while, but they still are 15-20 against the spread at home, 30-39 against the spread as a favorite. So Washington is actually, let's see here, 8 of the last 9 meetings between these two teams have gone over when playing here at Washington. All right, we'll see what you've got here in this one between Indy and Washington here today at 236.5. Here we go. Robert's going with the under in this one. Will the Pacers be steaming mad here at this point? Can they get this money? 12.5. Oh my goodness. I mean, I would think they still can crush these guys right now. They need I think they will be kind of steamy here, it feels like.
Lineup.
right, we're getting some baseball lineups in. We think, opening day, we know them pretty much. But here we go. We got Pacers second half for Kiadra there. All right. All right, probably not much from you folks in this segment, but man, I have 235.5 up there, but I think it's lower than that actually. DraftKings is 235.5 or so. I think Indiana's going to probably rock here. I'll try the Pacers here to cover this big spread on the road against Washington tonight. Spurs and Cavs here in this one. The Cavs are favored by 14.5 here right now, going up higher here, and the total 237 or so. Cavs obviously going to be a big favorite here in this one. For San Antonio, they've covered the spread in 4 of their last 6 games overall, getting some steam right now in the NHL with the Edmonton Oilers here. They were $1.15. They're up to $1.25, maybe even $1.30 in their game against Seattle tonight. Edmonton's concern is to try to get their lineup healthy, but they are taking some steam here right now in that matchup with Seattle tonight. Okay. San Antonio's gone over in 10 of their last 14 games. San Antonio comes in off a loss to Detroit that snapped their 3-game winning streak. So Spurs been looking pretty good here of late for Cleveland. They've gone just 2-4 against the spread in their last 6 games, but those wins were back-to-back wins against Portland and Utah. They got the money there on the road. They return home here for the first game after that long road trip. They were struggling. Then they got 2 wins and covers towards the end of that trip. Now, a lot of people say that, the first game back is the toughest, but we'll see what you got here in this one between San Antonio and Cleveland here in this one. If anything here, we're going kind of quickly, I know, but Thomas says he'll lay Cleveland here -7 at a big price. I think Thomas, because you get back and you got to get back into your family routine or something is what they say. You got to, you get back to being with the kids or whatever your lifestyle is for some of these guys. All right, these 2 teams met back on February 3rd. Cleveland got the win and cover, but an earlier meeting when was it? February 3rd was that meeting. Cleveland won by 16 as a 10.5-point favorite. The widely reported steam did come in on the under in this one, but I'm actually going to try the Spurs here to get this money today. I'll try San Antonio plus 14.5 today. I'm going to go a little bit contrarian maybe here, and I like San Antonio to cover tonight. The Hawks are taking on the Heat. You got the Heat favored by 1.5. The total 226.5. Well, finally, the Miami Heat are doing what I expected. They've actually won a couple games in a row here against Charlotte, against Golden State. They actually crushed Golden State, remember, in that anticipated game and beat up on Jimmy Butler is what they did in that one. So for the Heat here in this one, they do come in still not with great numbers with that losing streak, but they've covered 4 straight games all of a sudden coming into this one. Miami's gone under in 9 of their last 13. The widely reported steam did come in on the under here. This series has gone under in 13 of the last 18 matchups between the 2 teams. Atlanta's just won 6 of the last 18 meetings overall between the clubs. And let's see here if you have a pick in this one between Atlanta and Miami. Here, the last meeting was 131-109. The Heat crushed them at home back on February 26th. They met 2 days earlier in Atlanta, and Atlanta got the win by 12 as a 2.5-point favorite. Atlanta won by 10 at home back in December. So let's see what you have here in this one with Miami and Atlanta tonight. I know what I'm probably doing here. Let's see what you've got. And it's going to be under here for Thomas. Jerry says, I don't get NBA. Who cares at this point? Yeah, I know, but I spent, at least a good hour on my NBA. Want to make sure we got some good plays and, find some spots in there. And of course, we're going to give out some free winners here. Hopefully, I got to take the Miami Heat to keep it going right now. I'm back on this Miami train. Got to get my money back that I lost over that losing streak when I kept going to the well with these guys. Widely reported steam did come in on the under here, as I said, but Robert got the over. In this one, Dimitri, good morning, Dimitri here. He likes the over, and he likes the Hawks here. Heat money line for Kiadra today. All right, you guys, good job, good job. All right, you know what's next here? Grizzlies and Thunder here in this one. Look, this one looks like a good matchup here, even though the Thunder favored by 10. The Thunder probably be favored by 20. They probably cover the way this team's going. Man, they don't even care. They don't give two Fs right now about point spreads. They just crushing everybody every time right now. They're not only winning, but covering practically every game at this point, no matter what kind of spread you put in front of them right now. The Oklahoma City Thunder just whipping through this schedule like nobody's business. But still, gosh, 10 points against this, Memphis team. Now, I get it. Memphis here, had some struggles there with that 3-game losing streak, but they did win and cover last time out against Utah. They crushed them on the road here. There's still nothing wrong with this Memphis unit. It looks like it's just the Thunder just wants to cover against everybody. Memphis is struggling a little bit, 3-7 against the spread. Their last 10 games overall. They're also just 1-7 the last 8 games against the spread against Oklahoma City. Not a great matchup. Oklahoma City 24-12 as against the spread at home. They've covered 9 of their last 10 games overall, including 7 straight here right now for Oklahoma City. It's a 7-game winning streak. They've covered every time. Can they do it again here today? Let's see what you got here. Man, can they just cover every single spread every single day? Thunder own the Grizz here. Lay it. And let's see here. See what you guys have in this one. Yeah, they've beaten them in how many in a row now? 8 straight meetings as well. Kiadra maybe on the Thunder here. Robert's on the under. Gosh, supposed to take Memphis here again, but I just don't know if I can do it. Just seems like the Thunder want to take it down every time right now. So, all right. Give me the Thunder one more time. Can't ignore this spread streak right now against a team they dominate. My computer over here is telling me Memphis is the side today, but I'm going to ignore it. Terrell says, take them on the money line here. They'll go 72-10. All right, we're going kind of quickly, I know, but we got to spend a second or two on this one between the Lakers and the Bulls tonight. After that crazy game, Bulls have won 3 straight here, triggered, of course, by that game over the Lakers. They beat Sacramento, they beat LA, they beat Denver. They were on fire here on the road, the Bulls. And credit to you guys. You guys kind of been riding this Bulls team a little bit as well here. Thanks to Jim, of course, keeping us in the loop with the Bulls and how good they've looked here with this lineup, right? Giddey, White, both looking terrific here of late. So, will the Lakers have a bit of a letdown, or will they have that motivational revenge for that lopsided loss by 31 points to the Bulls? It seems like when you got a veteran team that's kind of flaky like the Lakers, that maybe the former is going to be the case. But let's see what you got here in this one, Lakers and Bulls today. But that's emotional game. Not only was it the last second shot by LeBron, but remember, I mean, the game was bad. Not a back and forth game. Remember, it was a big time comeback or choke job, whichever way you want to look at it. Last night, Bulls have actually won 7 of the last 5 meetings between the two teams. The Lakers are still 1-4 against the spread in their last 5 games. Lakers have gone over in 5 of their last 6, and also they've gone over in 5 straight games on the road. 7 straight meetings between these two teams have gone over the total. Chicago comes in having won 8 of their last 10. They're 9-1 against the spread in their last 10 games overall. The Bulls are the hot team, it feels like, here coming into this one, but the Lakers, is revenge good enough? Will it overcome this hot play by the Bulls right now? We know the Bulls, given their position right now in the Eastern Conference, they're going to make the playoffs here, and they're probably not going to get to the top 6. So there's really not a lot of total motivation here. It's going to be tough enough to catch Orlando and Atlanta to even improve their spot in the play-in round, but they are playing very, very good. And if anything, the Lakers could actually be resigned to their top 6 kind of status here. They got to avoid a little bit of a losing streak at all, but feels like they'll finish somewhere in the top 6. Here we go. Yeah, Kobe's been strong. Thomas says you got Hachimura returning here, so can that be the difference here for the Lakers today? 3-235 currently. Do have some Bulls on this injury report today. Vucevic questionable, Giddey questionable, Ball questionable here. So also White is on the injury report, but he is probable. Lots of props here for Jermaine. Thank you, Jerry. Really appreciate you. Great contributions for us today. Robert's on Chicago here. And I got to try the Bulls here in this one for sure. Getting the points at home does feel like probably shouldn't be a 3 or 3.5 point favorite the way these Bulls are playing right now. And the Lakers, coming in, yes, off the back-to-back. And meanwhile, the Bulls are rested here. Lakers aren't all that, it feels like, emotionally with this team. We've already seen, certain struggles by the Lakers there. Remember, they lost at Orlando as well. So, all right, I'm going with the Bulls for sure. Rockets and Jazz here in this one. The Rockets favored by 13, 227.5. The Jazz have lost 3 straight. The Rockets come in off of a win over Atlanta. They did not cover, but just barely by 0.5 point at home last time out coming into this one. But Houston been playing well, no doubt. If anything, they've been a little bit overrated. They haven't been covering all the numbers, even though they've been back to winning here of late, ironically, since the return maybe there of Fred. Still, Utah's just 1-6 against the spread in their last 7 games. They were kind of a cover team a lot of times, but a lot has to do with their personnel, who's in, who's out, and all that. And today they've got Clarkson out, Markkanen out here in this one today. So let's see what you got here. Houston's won 10 of their last 11 games coming in, but have just 1-5 against the spread in their last 6 games. So both teams struggling against the number right now. Still Houston 20-14 against the spread on the road. Utah's actually won the last 3 meetings between the two teams, including back in February at home, 124-115. Should be noted that Utah was at home for all 3 of those games in a strange scheduling quirk here. This is actually the 5th straight game that these two teams have played here in Utah right now. They have not played in Houston yet this season. They will have their games in Houston still, I believe, coming up. So these two aren't done yet this season. Utah's lost 13 of their last 14 games overall coming in. So see if you have anything here. We're almost done with the basketball segment. We still got to do a bunch of hockey games. We're going to whip through those. You can better believe it. So just too much here. Let's see. I'm going to take the Utah Jazz plus the points here in this one. Houston wins. They don't cover. I'll take Utah plus the points here tonight. Hello to Textiles today. One more in the NBA, and it is the Trailblazers taking on the Kings tonight. You got the Kings favored by 6, the total 225 here in this one. The Kings are on a 4-game losing streak right now. A little bit of a rough spot. They played some good teams for sure. Chicago, Milwaukee, Boston, and OKC. Portland's lost 2 straight as they hit the road here after that long homestand. They were crushing teams. Remember, they beat Denver, but then lost here at home to Boston and to Cleveland. Still tough games, no doubt about it. But short trip here to get things started for the Trailblazers on the road at the Kings here tonight. Portland has lost 6 of the last 9 meetings between the two teams, although they have covered 4 of the last 6 meetings between the two. Sacramento's lost 8 of their last 10 games overall and went just 1-4 in their last 5 games at home, but Portland 1-4 in their last 5 on the road. See what you got here. Portland and Sacramento. Portland still 35-26 against the spread as an underdog. Sacramento 12-22 against the spread at home, but they're still favored here in this one tonight. What gives? Portland continues to smash sub-500 teams. They've actually won 9 straight games against teams that are sub-500 here. 4 straight meetings between the two teams have gone under, including a 108-102 win for Portland at home. They did cover back in February. Nothing from you guys in the comments here. I got to take the Portland Trailblazers in this one for sure. Did I just go all sides in the NBA? That might be a new record for me, but maybe my totals haven't been too sharp of late. I've been on tilt a little bit in the totals department. So, man, I just went all sides in the NBA. Let's go to the NHL right now, and we're going to whip through these plays for sure tonight. Started off with Utah taking on the Lightning here. Vejmilka in the nets against Vasilevsky in this one. You've got here Utah about $1.70 here on the money line. Total 6.5 under 30. Could be 6 over 15. Tampa Bay comes in off of a win over Pittsburgh. They crushed them 6-1 to snap a 2-game losing streak. Meanwhile, Utah lost to Detroit last time out. 5-1, snapping their 2-game win streak. These two teams met back on March 22nd, just 5 days ago at Utah. Utah won that one 6-4 at home. A 10-goal game there in that one. Catch up here on my numbers a little bit. Let's see if you guys got something in the chat. Hello to Kelly today. Hello, Kelly. Oh, Thomas said, by the way, Houston was a... Oh, no. That was his money line parlay. There you go. Thank you, Kelly. Appreciate that. All right, and let's see here what we've got. Yeah, that was awesome. Those games there in Monterrey, Mexico. That was real cool. I thought that was really unheralded a little bit. But I just want to shout out one thing, though, in that Mexico series. My man Marcelo Mayer from East Lake High School in San Diego, one of my favorite guys watching there grow up. Really awesome, that 5 RBI game for Marcelo. That was really cool. Thank you, Kelly, to mention that. All right, let me get on though with the puck here, and nothing looks like from you guys. Probably just see the chat kind of dropping off here a little bit as we get this one rolling. So look, I think Utah might have a chance here. Tampa Bay's been pretty strong, obviously, at home right now. They rarely lose. 25-8 at home. Utah just 11-23 as an underdog. You know, Tampa's been covering some puck lines for sure. They're 20-15 as puck line favorite at home, on the puck line at home. And Utah, though, 20-14 is a puck line dog here. So see what you got. Anything from the chat, let me know. But not, I'm going to whip through this one pretty good here. I'm going to go with the under in this one with Utah and Tampa. I got to be careful on these unders here right now. Next up, how will Philly do with their situation now that the coach has been fired here today? Kelly took Tampa Bay there, but minus a goal. All right, so you got Flyers here after Tortorella's been fired here today. Montreal a favorite on the road, $1.25. Total 6.5 under 30. Maybe let's see what the general total is. I'm listing 6 there, but I think it's gone up a little bit. Yeah, 6, maybe 6 over 15, but it feels like a flat 6 for the most part. In this matchup. For Montreal here, they've lost 6 of their last 9 coming in, including 3 straight. Philadelphia obviously has lost 6 in a row as part of their problems. They're just 1-6 against 1-6 at home in their last 7 games right now. So things have definitely gone haywire here. Montreal 5-3 as a favorite this season. Philadelphia, meanwhile, 15-37. As an underdog, Montreal's won 5 of the last 7 meetings between the two teams coming in. We're seeing some steam right now in the NCAA Final Four. Right now in that wild total, we're seeing it go up here, 176.5. We may get to 177 in the game between BYU and Alabama. Some steam is definitely coming in here on the over. I don't know if we're going to get to 177 everywhere, but the square books are kind of starting to get in that direction here. Yep, some money is coming in here on the over in that game right now between Alabama and BYU tonight. Okay. All right, see if Philadelphia can turn it around. Obviously, I almost kind of need to reassess what I'm thinking here about this game. I kind of wanted to take Philadelphia. I'm going to do it. I'm going to take Philadelphia here to beat Montreal tonight. Let's see how the Flyers respond here with this coaching firing here. Look, both teams are kind of struggling now here all of a sudden. Yeah, Montreal's been the hotter team for sure. I'm going to try the Flyers tonight, see how they bounce back. Maybe Kelly's with me on this one, it looks like. Yeah, right now, the scores were up there yesterday, and I got to be careful taking some of these overs. Every game went, these unders, because every game went over yesterday, all 4 of them. All right. Senators and the Red Wings here. You got the Senators on the road, $1.30. Know that Mrazek, tough break for the Red Wings, right? Is he out? I think he is, right? Mrazek hitting the injured list, I believe. I was just catching wind of it last night. So much going on with all these sports. But Talbot actually, he also was on the injured list, but Mrazek is out indefinitely with that upper body injury. Detroit does come in with some bumps and bruises here for sure in this matchup, but still the Senators are going to be favored here. Both teams kind of struggling right now. Both teams have lost 3 of their last 4 games coming in. These two teams met back on March 10th. Ottawa got the win 2-1. Ottawa's had the upper hand in this series of late between the two teams. For the Senators here, they have won 7 of their last 10 overall, and 5 of the last 6 meetings against the Red Wings have been won by the Senators. Ottawa's gone over in 8 of their last 11 games on the road. Detroit is 18-15 to the over at home this season. Detroit's lost 10 of their last 13 games overall. These two teams have gone under in 5 straight meetings. There is some steam coming in right now in the NHL on the Minnesota Wild. We'll get to that game momentarily here, but Minnesota taking the steam in that matchup with Washington tonight. Washington was $1.65, but right now they're going to be down here to $1.50 or so. It looks like Minnesota's taking the steam right now. All right, let's see what you've got here with Ottawa and Detroit, if anything, here in this one. Sorry, we're going to go so quickly here, but we're going to wrap this show up before the top of the hour for sure. So, hey, I've got the over tonight with Ottawa and Detroit. Detroit might be having some issues here with goaltending right now, so I got to take the over here in this one. All right. Next up is the Penguins taking on the Sabres here, Yari and Pekka Luukkonen. In this one, I'm not even fired up the goalie computer here. We're going so quickly, but still, you got the Sabres here, $1.35 at home against the Penguins. That's how bad things are going, it feels like, for Pittsburgh here right now. Oh, man, it's bad. Buffalo's actually won 2 straight. Remember, they looked good in that game over Winnipeg, and they bounced back to beat Ottawa. Pittsburgh here has lost 2 straight to Tampa and to Florida. Nothing wrong necessarily with that, but still, Pittsburgh having some struggles here for sure of late. For the Penguins here coming in right now, they have lost 6 of their last 7 games on the road. They have beaten Buffalo in 5 of the last 7 meetings between the two. Pittsburgh's gone over in 6 straight meetings overall coming in. 4 out of the last 5 meetings between these two teams in Buffalo have gone over. Buffalo's won 9 of their last 11 games here at home right now. They're starting to find a little bit of momentum anyway at home. Pittsburgh's a terrible road team. They cost you nearly a third of a unit every time out right now on the road. So maybe it could be a spot for Buffalo. It's just hard to lay them as a favorite as bad as they've been sitting here right now. What can you say? In last place by far in the Eastern Conference. Rough here for Buffalo here, but they got a little bit of momentum. So let's see what you got here between Buffalo and Pittsburgh here tonight. Nothing from the chat. I'm going to take the Buffalo Sabres to win over Pittsburgh in this one. All right, we just talked about the game between the Capitals and the Wild here. You got the Caps on the road. Officially right now, looking across the board, $1.45 even now, going even lower here with that steam coming in on Minnesota. That makes me want to try to see if it's a situation with possibly the backup in there for Washington here. And just to go over a few things with it. So Lyon is going to be in there. We talked about the Red Wings game. So Lyon is going to be in goal for the Red Wings. We had Talbot listed, but it is going to be Alex Lyon. No doubt that makes sense here. Also for Buffalo, it will be Reimer expected in goal. He is a likely goalie tonight for Buffalo. Hey, Reimer's actually been pretty okay here of late. Just because he's 4-8-2, but he's kept his goals against there a little bit. The veteran looked good in those 2 games. He was in goal in those 2 wins. So Let's see here. Vasilevsky definitely in there for the Lightning tonight. Gus is in goal here for Minnesota tonight. He was in that game just the other night in that 3-0 loss. Minnesota's actually lost 2 straight. Reimer was in goal in that 3-0 loss to Dallas. Then they lost to VGK 5-1. Gustafsson is allowed just 4 goals. Let's see. 4 goals in the last 4 games. He's been really strong here of late, but man, it's still going to be an underdog here. It shows Thompson, but I wonder with this move if there isn't going to be, that maybe he won't be in there. I got to at least update this one to $1.45 or so for Washington here. There we go. 5.5 under 15. That definitely looks like a price here in this one. And we got some comments here. Let's see what you got. Hey, Lego World, nice to see you in the chat today. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Nice to have you. Maybe he's going under here. Lego World, everybody. It's been a long time since I've seen Lego World. Great to see you, Lego World. It's been months and months and months, it feels like. All right. Yeah, don't forget, we're on Obi Watch, certainly. Kelly keeps us posted. I think everyone's keeping us posted on Obi Watch here, right? All right. Washington and Minnesota here in this one tonight. Man, could this one be an over here, it feels like to me? Oh, boy. We know how strong Washington is, man. They're still great on the road, right? And like I said, Thompson's probably been giving some back here a little bit of late. Has actually lost a couple of games here, I think, recently, right? 31-4-6 is his record, if he is in there today. So still, if anything, this is where you're getting a discount on Washington. Believe it or not here. Give me the over tonight with Washington and Minnesota. I'll try the over here in this one. Here's the Blues taking on the Predators here. The Blues, $1.40 right now. And the total here is 5.5 under 30 or so here. A little bit of a steep move here, the under for sure. This is another one of those really low totals here for sure. In this one, Bennington, Sarsh here expected, it looks like, in this one. For the Blues here in this matchup, St. Louis has won 6 of their last 9 on the road. They're obviously the hottest team in the league right now, and they've won 7 straight games. This seems like a total bargain right now, the way this Nashville team is going. They've lost 5 of their last 7 games coming in. They did win last time out, however, and kind of turn it around against Carolina. Nice win on the road, 3-1. These two teams met just 4 days ago. St. Louis won that game 4-1 at home. How can you not want to take St. Louis here? It feels like maybe it's a trap, maybe it's tricky. 5 of the last 6 meetings between the two teams here in Nashville have gone over. And 11 of the last 14 meetings between these two teams have gone over, although these two teams are kind of under teams for sure. Predators are 11-21 to the under as an underdog. St. Louis is 14-9 to the over, however, as a favorite. Nashville's actually gone under in 7 of their last 9 games at home and 8 of their last 9 games overall. I got to take St. Louis to keep this momentum going. Looks like they have an easy opponent here right now against Nashville. The way this team's going, man, St. Louis is still playing out of their mind despite the fact that let's see, what was it last game? Let me look at this. Oh, they beat Montreal. Listen to these scores, man. 6-1 over Montreal, 4-1 over Nashville, 4-1 over the Blackhawks. Yeah, easy schedule here of late. 2 of their last 5 games have been against Nashville. Actually, interestingly enough, in the last 6 games for the Blues, they played the Predators 2 other times, both times 4-1. All right, here we go. Blues to smash. There it is. Kelly just said it right there. Third time in the last 10 days. St. Louis so hot, man. This is great for St. Louis. St. Louis puck line even here for Lego World. Give me that plus money, says Lego World. And, I know I've said it before when Lego World's here, but man, I used to build the most, you can imagine, a young Ramon Scott building the most elaborate Lego stadiums. Okay. Stars and Flames here with, it could be Casey DeSmith here in this one. Okay, against Dustin Wolf here, and what a year for Wolf. But DeSmith has been good, 12-6 with a 2.39 goals against average. Coming into this one, you have Dallas favorite, $1.50, 5.5 over 20 here in this one. Dallas has won 3 straight. Calgary's won 4 straight right now. Calgary looking pretty good, especially at home here of late. Take a look at this streak right now for the Flames and how hot they've been, no doubt about it. Nice. They've done a very nice job. See if we get some of those numbers here for these guys. Oops. Oh, probably just going to skip it because I just clicked the wrong button, but that's okay. There's no doubt. We know that they've been red hot, like I said. Calgary with wins over Seattle, the Islanders, New Jersey, and the Rangers here. Calgary's 19-11 at home this season. Meanwhile, Dallas still 42-16 as a favorite. Dallas continues to win as a favorite. They beat Edmonton last time out 4-3 on the road last night. That was a crazy game, wasn't it? It was 3-0 there, and then Edmonton came back to tie it at 3, and then Calgary ended up taking that contest. So the back-to-back here for Dallas on the road going up against a hot Calgary team. So what do you have here in this one? These are 2 under teams for sure. We know that. Dallas 21-33 to the under as a favorite. Calgary 19-24 to the under as an underdog. And we know these Calgary games at home just seem to be under all the time, doesn't it? And man, are we really getting, 5.5 over 20. Yeah, everywhere. It was 6 under 25 at some spots, but now the 6s are a little bit steeper to lay for sure. All right. Lego World says can only take the Flames here. And all right. I got to try the under in this one with Dallas and Calgary tonight. Next up is the Kings taking on the Avalanche in a nice game here. The Avalanche on the road. Look, say what you will about the Kings in that home streak. They're just as bad on the road as they are good at home. They're a big loser on the road. They're costing you almost a third of a unit per game. They're on a 4-game winning streak right now. Colorado's won 3 straight, but the Kings are still just 14-18 on the road. Colorado 24-10 at home, 39-21 as a favorite. Colorado has won 10 straight games at home coming into this one. So just interesting that how can the Kings be so inconsistent like that, right? You'd think that they could do something on the road, but they really haven't been able to. Against weaker teams, they are able to beat them, but they got to be, sub 500 for sure. Colorado's won not only the 10 straight at home, they've also gone 8-2 straight up in the last 10 games against the Kings at home. Kings have lost 9 of their last 12 on the road and 13 of the last 16 games against Colorado. Kings are hot. They've won 9 of 10, but mostly it's been at home for sure. Kings have gone under in 6 of their last 8 games overall between the two teams. Teams haven't played since November in their first meeting. They're going to meet each other quite a bit here in the next couple of weeks. Colorado won that one 4-2. I'm going to take Colorado here as a big favorite. I just got to. You can get it down to $1.50 here. It feels like. Give me the Abs tonight to beat these LA Kings for sure. Lego World, thank you for being here right now for the Hockey and Kelly as well. You guys have really helped the segment here because we're down to 35 viewers because it's getting so late here. We want to be off the top before the top of the hour here. And thank you to Kelly as well here. Talking about what teams to bet at home. All right, next up is the Oilers taking on the Kraken here in this one. And saw that steam come in here on the Oilers a little bit. They're up to $1.30 here at some spots right now. And it almost makes you think, wow, are we getting one of the stars? Well, can we get one of the stars back here in this one today? Is that what we're seeing right now? I mean, there's no doubt that big concerns right now. For the Oilers, it is starting to feel like they just want to make sure they've got a healthy team when they get to the finish line. It is Picard here in goal tonight, so second end of a back-to-back, and they're taking the steam. That's what seems really kind of interesting about it coming into this one right now. So Picard will be in there tonight at 2.63 goals against and a 90% save percentage. He is 17-7-1 in between the pipes this season for the Oilers. But again, Oilers just want to protect their assets, it feels like, and make sure they get to the postseason. I mean, they're going postseason. We know that, but just be ready for the postseason. You know, they're going to come in either second or third against the Kings. They don't have a lot of momentum, so they may end up just finishing third to the Kings. But again, it's back and forth with the Kings as well on the road. So maybe, just maybe, Edmonton here, whatever this momentum is, in the line today, it's definitely on Edmonton here, it feels like. But man, I just don't trust Edmonton right now with these guys out of the lineup. So maybe you can trust the Sharps here because of this move to Edmonton and the fact that Seattle has lost 3 straight games coming into this one. On the road, however, it was Calgary, Edmonton, and Minnesota. Edmonton won the game between them the other night 5-4. With Edmonton at home. Edmonton got the win in that one, but now they got to turn around here in this matchup. I don't know. I've been fading Edmonton a little bit throughout this whole situation right now with these guys out of the lineup. Now, Edmonton has won 9 straight meetings against Seattle, so that has to be taken into consideration, including 6 straight here in the Climate Pledge Arena. 4 of the last 5 meetings between the two teams have gone under. Edmonton's gone under in 5 straight games on the road. Coming into this one, I've got the Seattle Kraken. Give me the Kraken here to snap that 9-game losing streak against Edmonton. I'll take Seattle here tonight. All right. No, Kelly, we need you in here. Everyone's bailed on me here. I need you guys here to help me out on this hockey card here. We're almost done, though. Kraken here for the Lego World. Says those players being out just cost them too much. And don't forget the back-to-back as well. That's what I ended up talking about. Yeah, 9 straight, Kelly said, and 10-1 here. And Kelly will join me with Seattle. So, it's tough to buck usually a 9-0 run. You're like, wow. But again, this Edmonton team, let's just get to the playoffs and get these guys healthy and be ready, it feels like right now. Look, nobody's going to be, at this point, in the division. I don't think those two teams are going to catch the Golden Knights here with, 15, 16, 17 games to go, whatever it is. Maple Leafs and Sharks will wrap us up. Thanks for joining me, everybody, here on the Morning Steam Show. What a day we had, huh? Who wants to listen to me talk for 3 hours consecutively? I appreciate you guys doing so here. So let's see what you got in this one with the Maple Leafs and the Sharks. Here, Stolars and Georgiev is what I've got listed in goal at this time. And some sites are showing a Wool in there today. Toronto's been pretty hot. They're coming in here off of a win over Philadelphia, 7-2. Definitely in a pretty good run here currently for Toronto. They're heating up again. They've won 4 out of their last 5. They've won 8 of the last 12 meetings between the two teams. Toronto is just 23-28 as a puck line favorite. San Jose still 40-29 as a puck line dog, 20-15 on the puck line. At home, the widely reported steam did come in on Toronto. Here you see them at 270 on the screen, but I'll tell you what, you can find it as low as 250 right now. In fact, it feels like 250 is the cheapest price available right now. So if anything, steam came in on Toronto, but it almost looks like a discount here. I've got to take the Toronto Maple Leafs on the puck line tonight over the San Jose Sharks. I'll lay it on the puck line with Toronto. That's the morning steam. Oh my gosh. Whew. Man, we're just 3 hours away from the start of the Major League Baseball season, and then we've got after that the Sweet 16 tonight. What a night it's going to be of sports action. I hope you'll catch me here tomorrow at 9 a.m. Eastern, 6 Pacific, where we can get a little bit of breather. We'll be talking Major League Baseball big time tomorrow with our Friday card in the major leagues. Of course, it's funny in the major leagues, right? We'll get a lot of teams that take the day off in those cold weather cities, or they protect those opening night tickets just in case the weather isn't good. But man, the weather looks pretty good around the country here right now, unless you're playing golf in Houston. But let's take a look at that leaderboard before we get off the air. Oh my gosh, they're going low. Andrew Novak leads at 5 under through 13. Boy, they weren't kidding. These greens look pristine here today. You've also got some surprise names here at the top of the leaderboard right now. Messner, Gerard, Gotterup's up there. Hitsasune's up there. Man, this is a crazy leaderboard. Mac Messner's even up there, huh? Minwoo Lee just made a birdie. They're going low in these wet conditions here today. So enjoy some golf as well. Don't forget to check out our polls over there on the Sports Money posts tab. Check out all of our picks from the community as we have the selections from you guys. Vote in those polls. See what the crew likes. Let's go to the drawing here and get off the air, man. Ramon needs a drink of Wawa. We only ended up with a few plays here, 4 consensus plays. Thomas thought we'd have 14 of them. And I think he just turned it off there after a while. Thank you to Kelly. Thank you to Lego World for the Seattle segment. She loves Georgiev. He's garbage. Let's do the drawing. And thank you, everybody, for a great show. Man, wow. Here we go. Hopefully you guys are entered in the drawing. We got a lot of you in the drawing today for sure. 38 people can win our Team Steam parlay here. What's wrong with my screen? Why is it? Oh, I got to put the right thing up there. There we go. Here we go. Kiadra, Jim, Wine Time, Gorky, Billy Eagle Flyer, Abel, Lego World, Nasty Nate, Blue, Wine Time, and Stop Geo. Stop Geo. Who killed JFK? Stop Geo. All right. Thanks a lot, everybody, here for joining us on the Morning Steam Show. What a day it's going to be. Major League Baseball. Oh, my gosh. And our basketball tonight. Stop Geo won the contest. Thank you, Stop Geo. Thank you to everybody joining me here on the Morning Steam. Don't forget to join Mikey Money, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 Pacific. He'll get you ready for the primetime action tonight, including those late games in Major League Baseball. Of course, Final Four, Sweet 16. That's funny because you think about it, right? And usually the day something's wrong here, right? Everybody talks about it, and I don't know if you remember, but it was almost always that the baseball season started on the same day as the Final Four or the national championship on a Monday. But we started a little bit earlier. We've got a little bit of breaking news here right now, actually. Let me see what's going on with this. I think on opening day, this is going to be worthy of some. Let me see here. I don't know if it's going to be totally breaking news here. It feels like. Just want to get this right here. Just coming across right now. Okay. Yeah, I'm not going to run the banner, but Tanner Bybee has been scratched from today's start for the Guardians. It's going to be, Blake Lively is going to get the start here as Bybee is a late scratch here. This is a big downgrade for sure in this one. So, yeah, we ended up, what did we end up with on that game here? Real quick, if I remember, let me look at it here. I probably won't change the pick unless it's really obvious. We went with the over, so we're on the over now. So Bybee is scratched here. Blake Lively will get the start today. So, if you're on your listed pitchers, let me add this real quick. Remember my theories on this right now. Hi, Lego. Oh, he says, who do you like in the NCAA women's? Well, before the season, my futures plays were on the USC Trojans and the USC Gamecocks. But right now, I'm kind of gravitating towards UCLA. I want to give Connecticut a chance, but I'm still going to go with South Carolina here right now. I think South Carolina is going to be my pick. I'm really impressed with what UCLA is doing here and really bummed out, of course, about what happened to Juju Watkins. That's obviously going to hurt there a little bit, a lot, obviously. But thank you, Lego World. So, anyway, Blake Lively scratched in that game. We're on the over. Let me just throw this in for baseball fans here. So what I like to do is when I take a bet, I like to list my pitcher only. I don't care what the other team does. I never list the other team's pitcher. Usually it's always going to be a downgrade when a pitching change occurs. So I only want my pitcher there. When I choose listed pitchers, I just choose my pitcher, and I don't care what the other team does, because 95% of the time, maybe even more, whenever there's a pitching change, it's going to be a downgrade, and you don't want to be messing around with any openers or anything like that. And if you're on an opener here, you can go with action if you expect openers for your team or the other team. But again, I'm more concerned with my team, so my bets will almost always be I designate my starting pitcher, and I don't care what the other team. So I say the other team just designate my starting pitcher that I'm betting on. So if I'm clear, if anybody has any questions, we can talk about it again when baseball becomes the focus of the entire show, or most of the show, if you know what I mean. So thanks a lot, everybody, for joining me here on the morning. Have a great sports betting day. Catch us live tonight here on the channel. Mike, you'd kill me if I didn't say we're a live coverage tonight here on the Sports Money Network. And what a night to have live coverage. We got the 3 awesome baseball games tonight. We've also got Final Four. That'll be, of course, the featured coverage. There's going to be NBA and NHL going on, so we expect to go with our Thursday night coverage here. Our channel goes live. Where are all the other channels at this point here? It seems like at this point, so we need more live coverage here, actually. Also, don't forget, we also have First Strike up there. Get you ready for this weekend's UFC Mexico. We have VB MMA picks also, so get ready for your MMA coverage. Get started right now, handicapping those fights with our video previews from VB. We had Uncle Weezy as our guest this week, and we also had the boys with their picks, Fanatical Jim, Subhuman Gaucho, MMA Jeff, and Mikey Money with their previews of the fights this weekend with First Strike up there last night. So we're ready to go with that. Also, don't forget, we also have NRL coverage here with the guys with the with Dan and with his analyst as well for this week's NRL coverage. There was one game last night. I don't think the guys used it in the previews, but it was the Rabbitohs over the Panthers 28-18. But I do know that tonight, with the two games going off on Friday night, the Roosters and the Titans, the Dolphins and the Broncos, I do know that those guys, I think that at least one of those games was in the previews, maybe both of them here as we get ready for round 4 in the NRL. So make sure you check that out as well. Get some action in there with those guys tonight with those matchups here tonight. I don't know if they did the Titans and the Roosters because I don't know if that's I think that's the worst game of the two when you got the Broncos here tonight against the Dolphins. Broncos have looked pretty good so far. So don't remember which ones they had but they had like two or three matches previewed. They had some props as well. So check out the NRL coverage from the crew as well here on the Sports Money Network. Have I remembered it all? That's it. That's 3 hours with me, so thank you so much. That's about as long as people can stand with me. For the Sports Money Network, I'm Ramon Scott. So long, and have a great day. Wow.
That's gonna cash. Then we make the 100-yard dash to the window. I don't know what you thought. It's Ramon Scott running so hot. Sports make money and we make money with sports money every single day. NFL, NHL, NCAA. Stay away from the juice or might play a parlay. It's the morning steal. Ramon Scott, sports